Alrighty, welcome. Greetings, everybody. I'm back. I'm back streaming. I'm back from Japan, and while I was in Japan, I decided, you know what? When I get home, I'm bringing the J-Protocast back. So I'm bringing the J-Protocast back. Thank you, Dragon Balls. And here we are. I am joined by my friends. Introduce yourselves, Wingus and Dingus.
Hello, my name is Adam, and this is the podcast.
Thank you for that rousing
I'm Curio
identification
50,
of basic things.
I'm Curio 54. I'm the Mexican with the hottest takes this side of the Mississippi.
Awesome.
I guess I got the hottest takes on the opposite side of the Mississippi.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I wanted to kind of go over some recent history here, because yeah, I mean, I stream almost, I'm so rarely these days, but especially not when I was in Japan because things were hectic. I was almost always busy. When I was in my room, I was either doing homework or sleeping, essentially. So I didn't, and also the internet was shit. I never tried to stream, but I bet it wouldn't have gone well for like basically anything short of this. Essentially, might have worked out. Um,
Mhm.
Anyway, I do have.
The last time an American streamed in Japan, it didn't go so well.
Okay, that wasn't a live stream. That was a recording,
Yeah.
and let's not talk about that. I,
Yeah, we just don't talk about that.
we're not going to talk about that. No, I was a little more respectful of Japanese culture than that dumbass. Anyway,
Slightly.
Ah, no, he's a
but
Japanese.
anyway, so leading on from there, so one thing I did a lot in Japan was drink alcohol with my friends. We would go out to the bar even when it was weekdays and we had class. I specifically had class at 9 a.m. every morning while I was there.
Hmm.
Okay, we got our first bot in the fucking chat. I
Bart, get out of here.
yeah. Okay, that's actually a first. I don't know how to kick them out of my chat. I've never had to deal with that before.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's interesting. Click on person maybe. Click on user. Okay, now I'm just running the gamut here. Okay, that's a report channel. How do I fucking make them leave? How do I keep them in my chat? I don't know how that works actually. Crap. This is why I need mods.
Mods.
This is why I need mods. I actually have no idea what to do. Anyway, well, I'm getting derailed. Anyway, so my friends and I, we would go out drinking a lot. And even
Mhm.
though I would be completely exhausted, I would still, you know, still go do it because it was fun. And if I, oh yeah, okay, okay, I just blocked the account. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to leave. I'm gonna have to leave my actual stream open in its own thing here, uh, just so I can pull that up because I can't do it within Streamlabs itself. Anyway,
Yes.
but so one night we came
Mhm.
back and I went to my room and I was drunk as hell and I was sitting there. I should have gone to bed. It was like after 2 in the morning, and I had class. But for some, whatever, I don't know what possessed me, but I just picked up my phone and I pulled up my videos, my channel, and I just started watching the old podcasts. Like I watched through like I think half of E3 before I went to bed. And I kept doing that. Like I listened to the entirety of our Toy Story podcast. And I don't think I did Kingdom Hearts. But anyway, long story like so we went through all this. I was like, and I was dying. I was laughing my ass off, like, not super loud because I was in a dorm. I was trying so hard not to be, disturbing to people.
At American.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a
American.
lot of Americans in the dorms, like, just to be
Hmm.
honest. So it was, that wasn't the main concern. My main concern was the, I'm trying to be right, just trying to be quiet because people are everywhere. Anyway, stop, shut the fuck up. You're getting derailed. I'm getting derailed. um, and I was just laughing, and I found them so funny. And even when I wasn't drunk, I still thought they were funny. I was like, you know what? We need to do more of these because like not trying to be narcissistic, but I think every like things I do in the past when I watch my old videos, I'm constantly laughing at the shit I say, not because it's necessarily funny, but just because I think it's funny because like I remember the mindset I was in when I said that shit and it just makes me start laughing. So that's why I wanted to bring this back. And
Mhm.
I figured, yeah, what better topic to kind of start off with to break these things back in than Dragon Ball, which is something I have a lot of experience. I mean, Adam and I probably know Dragon Ball back to front. Uh,
Mhm.
and I did a lot. I played a lot of Dragon Ball Heroes when I was well. Okay, actually, no, I didn't play as much as I meant to. I did buy a lot of cards for Dragon Ball Heroes, which is the arcade game that you play with the cards on the field and everything. But I had a lot of fun doing that. Anyway, I don't want this to turn into what I did in Japan. I want to turn into something about Dragon Ball. So what I actually want to do is go through and, as we discussed things before, go through all the sagas of Dragon Ball Z. At least with Z to start off with. I don't know how long we're
Yes.
gonna go
See.
for, but we can start with Z and maybe we can get to the others another night. Uh,
And maybe make it a tier list too.
yeah, maybe I don't want to make like a straight out and out tier list. I mostly because I didn't prepare for that. Like I thought about it, but I decided not to.
Oh,
Just because trying to rank the sagas in the tier list as they are, it's kind of hard to do just because they're so long. Because like the sagas are made up of so many smaller arcs, so we'd have to like go through the arcs individually, which I guess we can still do. Um,
Saiyan Saga, A
yeah,
tier.
yeah,
Bam.
yeah. Well,
Done.
okay, shut up. No, we're not doing that yet. We're not doing that yet. Shut up. But yeah, we will start with saying like, just real quick, starting off with briefly. I say this mostly more to myself than anybody here. Um, Going over personal history with Dragon Ball, sort of like when you got your start with it, how much of it do you know, what's your experience with that, and just so I don't go first, Chava, lead us off.
Uh, shit. I honestly don't remember when the first time I saw Dragon Ball was. Um, I think it was like when I was like 6. It was
Mm.
on like, cause I don't know if people realize this, but Dragon Ball is huge in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Like
Mhm. Yeah.
it's massive. Um, like I remember watching videos of the Tournament of Power arc. Like there was just like town centers filled with people just watching it on like big ass screens, and
Oh yeah, I remember
it's
seeing
a
that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah it's a pretty big thing in Mexico. So watching it on like Spanish cartoon channels
Oh
when I was like
shit.
6, it was just like dubbed in
Oh,
Spanish.
with Mario Castaneda, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this show was I was too young to understand what was happening, but something about it clicked, and I was like, "Ooh, strong man punch,
Yeah.
green vegetable." Um, I was just like, "Fucking take that, VeggieTales." Um,
God damn it.
and I, I don't know. It started early, and I never understood what was going on until I was probably like in middle school, that I actually started watching it like with the purpose of understanding and like actually like paying attention to the anime. Um because that was also when I started watching anime.
Mhm.
Um and I think for a lot of people it's the gateway anime. At least
Oh.
a lot of like not 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 younger, but like you know like our age, like 20, 24, 25 year olds.
Ugh.
um it was the like gateway anime. um and it's always been something that I've never like watched all of it,
Mm-hmm.
but every once in a while I come I I find myself coming back to it and like watching parts, but never the full.
I think that's pretty common, especially at this
Yeah,
point
most
in
definitely
time.
common, yeah.
Okay, I do want to ask specifically what series do you know? Like, what have you read and or watched of like Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super,
I
anything else? What do you know? What do you know like specifically?
I started with Z.
Mm-hmm.
Z
Yeah.
was the one that I started watching. Eventually, I realized that there was others, and so then I watched the original Dragon Ball. I'd never finished it though.
Mm,
Um,
a lot of
Mhm.
and
filler in
then
that.
yeah, uh, and then I don't know if it was the cause of it, or something. There might be a correlation. I don't know. But when I started watching GT, that's when I developed depression. Uh,
God damn it.
so I don't
Oh,
know if they're related.
boy, oh
Um,
boy.
um,
GT's a mess.
but I watched maybe 10, 12 episodes of GT.
Mm-hmm.
And then I completely forgot it was then a thing until like mid mid to late high school
Oh wow.
when Super started happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I remember watching the movies like the Resurrection F, Battle of Gods, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um and then later with the stuff with like the Tournament of Power and whatnot.
Yeah, so
Um
you're more so you're familiar with Super. You've seen most of Super. You know most of the films. You just don't
Super's probably the one I'm
follow
the most familiar with.
Real okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know some of Dragon Ball and some of GT, but
Hmm.
Hmm.
everything else. Okay, that's what. Adam, how about you go ahead? Uh, where was your start with Dragon Ball? And well, okay, you're familiar with everything, so you don't have to really tell us that because you and I are basically on the same level for that. But
Okay. My first time ever watching Dragon Ball was when I think I was before even I was in elementary school. I think I remember watching it with my sister a long time ago. It was when Toonami was on Cartoon Network.
mm-hmm.
So it was like I think the saga that was the Majin Buu saga when Buu was turning people into chocolate.
Shit.
Yeah, that's when like, whoa, this guy is super strong, turning people into chocolate, and he can do whatever the heck he wants. He doesn't care about anything, just
Your introduction
enjoy
of
himself.
war.
Yeah, basically.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So yeah, later on in the future, I think I also remember my sister watching the Cell Saga, which when Firstborn Cell was chasing around the androids and just sucking people's energy away, just turn into nothing but clothes.
So basically, you started with the most traumatizing parts of Dragon Ball as a young child.
Yes, and
Oh
that
boy.
tells that I loved it. I just like seeing people just die.
Okay, well, on that
It's like,
blossom
oh yeah,
of
my introduction to medieval fantasy was Game of Thrones.
God. My introduction to video games was Grand Theft Auto. Yeah,
Ah, the
essentially.
classic.
Yeah, and then so you just been into it the whole time? Because I actually never really asked you about this. Like, just have you always been into Z? Because I know you were like by the time we met in eighth grade, but
Well, I'll be real with you for a while. Uh, I did when you saw just have you heard of Dragon Ball Z? And I said, yeah. Well, this is only because I've seen it with my sister, and I can't remember exactly the whole thing. So I just went along with it, just be a really nice kid and be cool about it. And after in a while, I really got hooked into it that I actually decided to buy, what was it, season 5 of the Cell Saga because
yeah,
that's
I
the one I
remember that.
remember the most. And then after that, I decided, no, I can't start off with season 5. I have to go to the first
Mm-hmm.
of Dragon Ball Z. I had to buy the Saiyan Saga. So I did. My first time ever watching it, I actually got kind of bored and I actually fell asleep on it until when I woke up, I actually got hooked on it. Like,
Was it the
just
Gohan
awakened.
filler, or was it actual things
I think it
happening?
was I think it was the part when Piccolo who killed Goku. That's the part when I fell asleep part.
What?
And
Adam,
then
what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like 3 episodes in of that.
yeah, and then all of a sudden, just clicked. I was instantly hooked.
That's interesting because yeah, I never really asked you about that because I was into it at that point by the time we met.
Hmm.
But so I essentially like activated the ancient knowledge and got you back and got you into it. Essentially, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, you literally just awakened the Super Saiyan 2 in me.
There you go. Think more like grade ape since that was the outset of it, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Unlocked his third eye and removed any sense of taste.
And start turning triangles into squares and shut the fuck up. Okay. That's interesting. So I also similarly I was first exposed to Dragon Ball when I was a really little kid it was at, I think it was at a friend's house, and I just have this. It's weird because I remember more of it now than I did when I first thought about it, but it was the specifically it was the scene from Dragon Ball when Goku's fighting the combined Pilaf machine, and he used the Kamehameha to blow off one of its arms, and he just
Hmm.
like trashes the machine, and they give him the Dragon Ball. Like, I remember all that sequence. I saw that whole thing on TV at some point. It's like, but it was like a one-off thing, so I had no idea what it was. I didn't remember. I think I was like 4 or 5. I was really little. I couldn't even remember he said Kamehameha. I just remember him mumbling a bunch of shit and then shooting a laser. Um, and the other weird thing is, I had a toy of Piccolo when I was a kid. Don't know how I had it. It was just a hand-me-down, I guess. I just had this random like old Piccolo action figure, and I only knew his
Cool.
name because some older kid mentioned it at one point when I was outside playing with. He was like, "Oh, hey, that's Piccolo." I'm like, okay. Um, but yeah, other than that, I wasn't really into it. The main thing that got me into Dragon Ball was, I know I said keep things brief, but I might as well just tell this whole story. Um, so at one point in middle school, I would go to my grandma's house after school a lot because her house was close by to the school, and I would just hang out there until my mom came to pick me up. Um,
Hmm.
but there were no game systems at my grandma's house. There was nothing there. So I actually bought a PlayStation 1 from the secondhand store just to have something there to play with a few games that were like, I had like Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories and then a bunch of like racing games. That's all I had. But my uncle came back to town one day and he gave me a bunch of his PlayStation games and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi for the PS2. So like, I had very
Hmm.
minimal knowledge of Dragon Ball at that point. Like, I knew who Goku was, knew what a Super Saiyan was, sort of. Or at least I knew Goku was a Super Saiyan. But I just thought like every time I saw Super Saiyan, I was like, oh, is that Goku? When the like Go tanks on the loading screen looks completely different. It's like it's like the memes like, is this Goku? Um, and I didn't like the game because it was really hard, and I was a stupid kid, and I couldn't get the hang of it. Of course, the original Budokai Tenkaichi is kind of stiff compared to the later ones, so I don't entirely blame myself for that. But then at one point, I just kind of had this moment where I found out you could turn the difficulty down, and I started playing through the game, and I got really curious about what the story was about. And this was like, this had to be eighth grade at this point because I'd gotten the game
Hmm.
several years before. Uh, and then all of a sudden, it was sort of like, you know what? I want to know what's going on because I'm playing through the story mode, and I don't know what the hell is happening really. So I actually read through the entire manga. So like from the first chapter to the very end in a week. I found it online. I just read through the whole thing, and from that point on, I've just been a huge Dragon Ball fan. Um, because for those who don't know, I mean, I feel like most people are aware at this point, but Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are not separate series. Um,
Uh-huh.
and back in Japan, it's just one long series. It's just when they brought it west, they kind of changed it to Z. I mean, it was still called, the anime was called Z. Um,
Uh-huh.
in Japan, when they adapted, like starting with the Saiyan Saga onwards, but the manga's all one thing, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh. How in the West, Yu-Gi-Oh is three different sets of manga for some reason, but in the original run, it's just one manga. It's just one series. For whatever reason, they split them up. I don't know why. But yeah, and then ever since then, it just slowly spiraled out of control. I would play that game constantly. I unlocked all the characters. I would play it before school just to keep grinding to unlock to get all the Dragon Balls to unlock more characters you'd wish for.
Hmm.
And yeah, and nowadays I'm like, the only Dragon Ball thing I'm not really caught up on is I actually still haven't seen all the movies yet.
Oh.
I watched a good handful of them, but there's a lot of them I haven't seen. A lot of the earlier ones, like I haven't seen any of the Dragon Ball films. I haven't watched any, or I haven't watched like Dead Zone or Tree of Might. Um, but
That sounds pretty good. It's really good.
yeah, I'll get to it at some point. But I've got enough
And
Dragon Ball
World's Strongest is
paraphernalia
also
around
good.
my room, like to show that I'm a pretty big fan of this shit at this point. I mean, I've got all these model kits literally to my right here.
Well, at
uh,
least I watched all the Dragon Ball Z films. They're pretty good.
yeah, I haven't caught all of them, but most of the recent, like all the more recent ones. Like I saw Battle of Gods in theaters when it came out. I saw all the everything except here superhero. I didn't get to see superhero. Uh,
Hmm.
I actually did see
you
superhero in
did.
theaters.
What'd you
Yeah.
think? Oh, okay, I don't ask you what to think, because that's we can talk about that. Um, let's see. I was going to see Superhero. Adam, you and I were going to go see Superhero in theaters, but it
Yeah.
came out. It was like the week before I left for Japan, and I was
Hmm.
paranoid to high hell that I was going to catch COVID right before I was going to leave, and then I wouldn't be able to
Uh,
go. I was like absolutely terrified that was going to happen, like of all the stupid things,
yeah.
because at that point you still had to get your COVID test like within 2 days of leaving the country to go to Japan. You had to have your negative test done and everything, and it's just like I
Mm.
didn't want to go into like, the astronomical chance that I catch it again, you know. Um, but I didn't want to run the risk of it, so I didn't see it in theaters. And by the time I got to Japan, it was already out of theaters. Crazy thing though, side tangent. When I got to Japan, the new One Piece film Red, had just hit theaters. It was still playing when I left, like 3 weeks ago.
Are you
Mm-hmm.
serious?
Yeah, it played the whole.
Oh
It
man.
made. It was making money hand over fist in Japan. It was like one of the most lucrative anime. I think it. I think it might have made more than Mugen Train, and Mugen Train set a lot of records for
Oh man.
anime films. So I'm not. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not 100%. But I know it was making so much money. They kept it in theaters. I kind of
Wow.
wish I'd gone to go see it. Like I was gonna try and track down a sub version first and then go see it, but I didn't have time for that shit. Uh, but yeah, well, okay. Well, we kind of gone through our histories, and we kind of know. I was just mostly curious what you knew, Chava, because, like I said, Adam and I know the series pretty much back to front. But I wasn't sure what you'd be able to comment on. But I'm glad that you have things
Yeah,
covered more than I
it's
thought.
really good.
Yeah.
So cool.
I mean, I was a kid in the mid 2000s.
Mm.
I with a fascination of big, strong men shooting lasers. So naturally, Dragon Ball was something that hit my radar.
I'm gonna
Um,
clip that, but take off the fighting lasers, so it's just you have an interest in big, strong men.
I hate men. Yay.
that was later with wrestling. Um, but no, it was something that I was into, but didn't know like at all about until later on. When I, like I said, when I actually like started watching it and
Mm-hmm.
like paying attention to what was happening. Because at
Yeah,
first I literally only watched it for the fights. It
yeah,
it, it, it,
fucking
it was it
plebeian.
was it was just like big fight. Let's go. I don't
Mm,
give a fuck what else is going on. There's a big fight. There's lasers. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
literally why I went to go see Godzilla versus Kong. Big monkey, big lizard, fight.
Yes.
That's what happened. I love the movie.
mhm.
Everything
Yeah.
else, don't give a shit.
I don't
Um,
care what Eleven's doing here. I want to see the robot dinosaur fight the real dinosaur.
yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. We could talk about this all day alone, but let's kind of move on, because what I want to stop, because it's already like after 1 a.m. for me, and I want to go to bed at some point. Um, so starting out, I basically just kind of want to discuss the sagas, kind of what we like, maybe what we don't like, because nothing's perfect. Dragon Ball certainly isn't perfect. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have some
Yes.
gripes with certain things as we get later on, and then we can kind of we can rank, I guess, the individual parts personally, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose.
Yes.
Actually, if we're gonna do that, I have a tier list queued here. I'm not gonna put it on stream because I'd have to clip out a bunch of ads. Um, hmm, hmm, actually, I wonder if I could do this. That'd be kind of weird.
Man doesn't have an ad blocker.
I
Yep.
mean, I have an ad blocker, but it's not doing shit, and I don't want to restart my VPN in case it fucks with anything. Um,
Yeah.
okay. No, no.
Speaking of ad blockers and going on tangents,
Uh-huh.
did you hear that Chrome is disabling ad blockers?
Really?
Yeah,
What?
they're not gonna allow ad blockers on the browser anymore.
Well, I
Wow.
guess I'm switching to Mozilla.
I switched to
I
Opera
mean,
GX.
I mostly use Edge anyway at this point. I only
Hmm.
keep Chrome around
What
for
the
like the
fuck is
old.
wrong with you?
What?
Wait, what?
It's just what's
Why would you
there.
use Edge?
I don't know, because it's what came with my computer, and I have no. I just don't give a shit enough to change it.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know.
hate to see it.
Whatever. I'm just gonna see. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can actually tab this in. I don't want to. See, 'cause I have to crop things. I could just do. I guess I could just do like the display capture. But I don't want to mutter. Okay, let's switch screens real quick. Intermission, yay! Okay, I'm just gonna do this real quick so I can. Oh, wait a second. Fucking idiot. I can't. I switched to intermission, but then I can't edit what I'm working with. That's the problem.
Oh boy.
So, okay, well, let's see which.
Hmm.
What if I can crop this?
This is the type of high quality production.
Well, I wasn't really
Yeah.
planning on doing this. All right, bite me.
Just quality, top notch, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. This is what top Twitch streamers are like.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
You're 3,000 miles away. I fucking dare you.
I'm more like 2,000 miles away, smartass.
I will look up the distance between South Carolina and California.
Yeah, just look up the distance,
I feel like an idiot because I should really understand how to do this.
and I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna look at the distance.
Uh, Wait, okay, what happens if I do this? I'm just monkeying with this now. No pun intended. Oh, okay, hang on, let me see.
Is it north or south?
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Okay, we're talking about 2,502.9 miles.
I rounded up.
Yes, close. Yes. Mhm.
Whatever, that's probably fine. Okay, now I gotta see how this looks on stream.
Oh,
I
sure.
don't.
Take the time of the world.
Huh?
Sure. Take the time of the world you need to
I'll
need.
do what I want. Jackasses.
I got bills to pay.
I'm looking at I'm looking at some of the cities in South Carolina. There's like two that are just a perfect circle. No, like I'm serious. They're a perfect fucking circle.
Town is a
Okay,
flat
I gotta
circle.
look this
Oh,
up.
see,
Hang on.
I haven't been doing shit except fucking with my
South
background. Oh my god, I hate my life.
Carolina City. Where is it?
Transform.
Who builds a city? It's like, yes, the perfect design for this is just gonna be a circle. We're gonna have a fungi design it.
Perfect.
Gonna be like the
Circle.
Japanese subway trains. It's just gonna be designed by a fungi.
Yes. Make
Fun
Okay,
everything
fact: the
designed by
except
Japanese subway system was designed by a fungus, like a spore colony.
Yes. Yes.
okay, yeah, I can't get this to work the way I want. Oh, and it also
Well, if you
changed
can't,
shit.
then if you can, like I could just. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh, God. I just wish I could get rid of this damn advertisement.
Open it in a different browser. One that actually has ad blocker.
Well, if this has ad blocker, it's just not blocking the goddamn ads because they've sold out and now they just take money to keep ads up now. That's the problem. Okay, you know what? Here's what I can do. Turn my
What?
display capture back on, and then I'm just gonna move the thing over here. And that will just have to fucking do, I guess. There you go. Now it's cropped and you can't see the ad anymore. I'm a fucking genius. Okay.
High quality production.
High quality production.
Top
This is supposed to be a
notch. Great
podcast, you know. We
job.
don't need visuals anyway. I'm just fucking. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Actually, I don't know what's wrong with me. I've lost my
Yeah,
marbles.
clearly.
Thanks, Adam. You're a real friend.
Just kidding. Okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I know you hate me. It's all good. Okay, that is. I don't care.
It
This
doesn't.
is half of what's gonna make this shit funny. like after the fact, so I don't care.
You're
This is
making this funny already.
I know it's great. It's hilarious. Next time I'm gonna look up how to crop so I can actually. But actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make my own fucking tier list in GIMP, and then I can just have that open full screen. It won't be a problem. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're actually gonna skip over Dragon Ball and just go straight to Z,
Go to
like
see
every fucking normie does ever.
Hey,
Uh,
what's up?
normies.
okay. So I guess we'll just kind of go through it as it has it split up here. Um, so Saiyan Saga, I guess starting with Raditz is what we'll do.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. I think it's a good start, like for Z, changing the paradigm of the series, making it more sci-fi, and having the whole Saiyans thing introduced.
Yep.
The team up with Goku and Piccolo was cool for those of us that actually read the original Dragon Ball. You know, we people that have taste. Uh, the fight's fun. The start off of Gohan, the plotline of Gohan being powerful. Uh, I'm going to include the Raditz saga. I'm going to say is everything up until Vegeta and Nappa show up. So including training in Snake Way, Gohan's
Yeah.
training, and all that stuff. Uh, I don't know. I don't think it's spectacular. I mean, it's a good start for the series. I'd
Hmm.
probably put it about a B, honestly. I mean, remember, C is okay. C is average. We just don't want it in D and don't want an F, which I'm going to change this to be F.
Hmm.
Okay, there we go. That's what we're working with here. But yeah, I personally would put Raditz. I would put the Raditz part of the Saiyan Saga in B.
He's named after a radish, and I fucking hate radishes. So F.
But he dies. Isn't that a good thing?
That is true.
Spoilers, by the way, spoilers for Dragon Ball here in case you.
Wow.
Spoilers for
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
an arc that came out 30, 25 years ago.
Dragon Ball started in the fuck. What was it? The 80s? I don't. Because
I
Doctor
think it was
Slump
like
was the
90s.
70s. I think Dragon Ball started. Well, okay, Dragon Ball versus when this took place because I think Dragon Ball started. Okay, yeah, Dragon Ball started at 84 and it ran
Uh-huh.
until 95. I'm not sure at what point
So,
in time that became more Z, because the anime for Z started in 89. So it might have
uh-huh.
been 88. I'm not 100% on that.
Late 89 to early 90s.
Yeah, so anyway, other actual opinions on Rat Saga. Anyone want to fight me on this? Think it should fight. Think it should go higher or lower?
Oh.
I think a B is solid because, like you said, it did uh shift the anime into a bit of a more sci-fi. It did bring up the stakes a lot more
Hmm.
because now there's some pretty strong pretty strong people out there now.
Hmm.
Um
Yeah, because we also get the
and
hints at Nappa and Vegeta. Or actually, we see Nappa and Vegeta for the first time in this arc. We see them on the planet that they just
That were
destroyed.
just killing
mm,
civilization on that planet.
Yeah,
And Vegeta eating an arm of an insect.
yeah. And the anime coloring his hair and armor completely wrong.
Oh yeah, his hair was like red and his gloves were like yellow.
Yeah, it was like a yellow. It was weird. He he was like the
He's like
prototype for
Ronald
what
McDonald.
false Super. I was gonna say false Super Saiyan, but okay, Ronald McDonald. Also, I guess I should also mention this. I'm going to be approaching this more from the manga standpoint because I have read the manga several times. I've never actually watched all of the anime. I've watched good chunks of it.
Mhm.
I've watched most of Frieza Saga. Yeah, actually, I have watched most of the anime. I just don't think I've ever watched all of it in its complete form. That sounds about right. But I like know everything that happens in the story, and I've watched plenty of it. So, but I'm gonna be looking at it from the manga standpoint since it's the closest to the actual um, vision for the series.
Uh-huh.
That's what I know because there are certain things the anime does that irk the hell out of me aside from filler. So
Hmm.
I'll be approaching it from pretty much the exact opposite from the anime.
exactly,
In
that's
the
why
Hmm.
brief
I'm glad we
the
have
the
you
the
here.
the brief flashbacks in my mind that I have of it, um, and like what I like remember at the time,
Mhm,
since a lot of the old arcs I never really gone and like rewatched.
mhm,
Um, there are very few Dragon Ball uh uh like series like movies or like arcs that I've actually decided I'm gonna go back and rewatch this.
mhm,
Um, it's rare.
mhm,
Oh,
Um, they're mainly like the old, or I guess the later arcs of Z and some of Super.
mhm.
Um, but from what I remember watching the Raditz saga, it was pretty cool. Um, I remember, uh, uh, the, I actually don't even know if this is in the same arc. But like Piccolo dies.
That is
yeah.
that's the second half of the Saiyan
Yeah, yeah,
saga.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Spoilers!
he.
I already said that,
Oh yeah,
spoilers.
yeah. Because yeah, because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's coming back to me. He like fights Vegeta like as soon as he arrives at Earth, and he's like, "Oh wow, you managed to like pull off a hair from my leg. Uh, die."
Okay,
Um,
I'm just gonna title Raditz Saga into B. Raditz arc,
yeah,
I
Mm-hmm.
should say. The sagas are the overarching story, the arcs are the smaller parts that make it up. Okay, so now we're kind of starting to talk about um
Yeah.
the the arrival of the Vegeta arc of the Saiyan Saga.
Yes.
Um so this is, I'm counting this as from when Vegeta and Nappa arrive on Earth up until um the ending when they're kind of all in the hospital. I kind of consider that the start of the
Of
Frieza saga.
Namek Sucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they start talking about leaving. So I'm considering basically everything through the fight up until like the post-fight like recovery is what I'm considering the
Yeah.
ending of the Saiyan saga.
I would
Um,
say that.
yeah, so we've got the fight between the Z fighters and Nappa, Piccolo's sacrifice for Gohan, Goku's arrival and dismantling Nappa, fight between
Yeah. Vegeta
Nappa or
killing Nappa.
Vegeta. Yeah, the fight between, I'm just trying to hit the big highlights, and the fight between Goku and Vegeta, which eventually kind
Radiant
of
Vegeta.
drags out into a slobber knocker with everyone that's still alive. So yeah, I really enjoy this second. I mean, I enjoy the Saiyan Saga as a whole. That's something I want to kind of come across here. I just like I'm trying to grade these as critically as I can because it'd be really easy for me to look past everything that's potentially wrong with the story, just to be like, oh, it's Dragon Ball, it's cool, fuck yeah. Because if I did that, everything would be in Z and we'd have no stream. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at things more critically because if I like wasn't doing that, yeah, most of these things would be higher. Um, but the second half of the Saiyan Saga is definitely better than the first half, in my opinion, because we've got the big character growth for Piccolo, which also means a lot more to those of us that knew where Piccolo came from, and it's also just the original beam. Like, actually, I don't remember if it's the original beam. I feel like there was another beam struggle at some point in Dragon Ball, but this is the one everyone remembers. The
Mm-hmm.
Kaioken kicks ass literally, and yeah, yeah. I think I would definitely put this at A. It's not quite S for me. It's close, but I would put it at an
Yeah.
A.
I would say purely for the introduction of probably the second most famous or most popular character in this franchise. Um, yeah, probably A.
My
Um,
personal favorite character too. I don't put it in S just because of Vegeta, mostly because his character is a little more one note in the Saiyan saga. It's not until the Frieza saga we get to see it develop more. Uh, Actually, really, that's the most interesting thing about Vegeta is that every single arc after the first one he's in, his character develops like throughout the entire rest of the series. I think it's what makes him
it,
most so interesting is he's a character that's constantly in motion essentially.
he also
Mm.
becomes a decent father figure, unlike Goku.
We're gonna get to when we get to the end of the Cell Saga. I'm going to have my fucking rant about that. So hold on to that thought. Uh, Yeah, Adam, anything? Think it should go higher, lower? What do you think?
S rank for me.
S rank for you? Why is it S rank?
Because, for one, it's because that the motivation of the characters was all their hard work that they did, just like just trying to be out there, trying to destroy those Saiyans before they destroy Earth and just fucks everything up. Well, Gohan, was it Yamcha, Chaozu, Tien, Piccolo sacrificed their lives just trying to save Earth. Just really, just oh, and finding out that the Dragon Balls are gone because Kami and Piccolo are essentially one.
It admittedly does raise the stakes quite a lot. Um, it's mostly
Because
motivation for the next arc, but yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. And then Gohan realized that his cowardice caused Piccolo's life, so he realized that he needs to be more tough. He
At
needs to
the
toughen
age of
up.
5, yeah.
Yeah,
That's some harsh childhood development, I
Oh,
gotta say.
Gohan has a very harsh childhood when you think about it. I mean, he's literally he's getting trained by Piccolo when he's about, I want to
yeah.
say,
He just
4.
Piccolo just literally just let him just live out of the wilderness for a year and see if he
Hmm.
can live.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't think it's quite enough. It does end at a
And
very
plus,
low
And
point.
plus, also, Vegeta's rivalry begins with Goku, which is just like Vegeta just motivating, trying to take down this Saiyan who thinks he's like the top dog.
Yeah. I'm not
Because remember, Goku says that even trash can beat an elite.
right.
And
Their rivalry is pretty much like the greatest in all of anime.
It is.
Not to take Naruto.
I'm not sure I
Um,
would say the greatest.
yeah,
It's probably like many other things in Dragon Ball. It's probably one of the most iconic. I'm not
and
sure.
also,
I know what I would say the greatest off like right
mhm.
out the gate. I'd have to think about that one honestly, because I read a
And
lot of
plus,
series. So
I also love the part that they the irony of Vegeta gets beaten by Gohan in his Great Ape form being smashed to death by him,
right.
which I find that irony.
Yeah, it is a dramatic irony. Also, that
And
that fucking
also, I
Vegeta
also
steals
love,
Krillin's move in like 3 seconds to get himself out of it, trying to anyway.
and plus, I also love Great Ape Vegeta's moments.
Yeah, the great Vegeta's pretty dope. Just when you think Goku's got the upper hand, yeah, I have a
And
10 times power increase I've been sitting on this whole time.
and and plus the moment that everyone Goku, Gohan, and Krillin literally have to kill Vegeta when he's out of his Great Ape form, that he literally have to throw the Spirit Bomb to kill him.
Well, the fact that
Otherwise,
they
fuck.
all bum rush it, or they try to. I mean, Goku can't. He's kind of
And
broken.
after just
But the
and
fact
after
that
that
even all
moment,
of that and they still can't take him down is the crazy thing. Yeah.
yeah, just Vegeta taking that Spirit Bomb like it was just a little scratch, and he literally got spaghettification. He literally stretched his body till he just explodes, but he survived,
Yeah. No,
which
that's
I find
crazy.
that really cool.
I don't know, Chava. Change your opinion because I'm still pretty solid at an A here.
yeah, I did that. I'm still at an A. I'd say high A.
I would say high.
Again,
Yeah.
Like it's
simply
close to
because
S, but not quite
I
there.
think it's
like
really close to S tier, but based on what I enjoy of the later sagas, I have to put it at A, kind of in comparison to what we get coming
So
up.
we're just break even right there. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll say high A,
just high A. Yeah.
probably the highest A. But
yeah,
we'll see as we go on. Okay,
we'll see.
so now entering the Frieza saga. Um,
The Namek Saga.
yeah, well, whatever you want to call it, I call it Frieza. I just always go by the
Five
villains
minutes, 10
part.
hours, same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
God damn it. Anyway, so starting off, I guess they're calling this the first part, the Namek Saga. So this is everything up until the Ginyus appear. So the traveling to Namek, which takes like a chapter in the manga because there's no filler. There's no space
Hmm.
orphans or fake Namek in the manga.
Oh,
Um,
God.
so they hop on they get the ancient Namekian ship that Kami came in on, take it there. Um, Oh no, Frieza's there. This is when Vegeta shows up, like one shots Qui. Um, there's a fight with Dodoria, the fight with Zarbon. Um,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
want
and
to.
then we get yeah, and there's like the whole potential unlock because it ends like I would say it ends when the Ginyu show up, which is like right after Gohan gets his potential unlocked after stealing the Vegeta's Dragon Ball. So, no, Adam, you had a thought. Go ahead.
The problem I have with that segment is because, well, yeah, Gohan and Krillin have to hide their ki, but the problem I have with it is just that I don't care for Dodoria and Zarbon. They're like just weak or just, they're nothing compared to the Ginyu Force. That's the problem.
Okay, I'm
They're
glad.
just
I'm glad you brought that
basically
up because that's basically my same issue with this. Is I don't really like Dodoria or Zarbon at all. Like,
Dodoria,
they're just
compared
uninteresting to
to, I
me.
like Zarbon a little more than Dodoria because Dodoria's just a meathead. He literally does nothing but just kill.
Of course, so does Zarbon, but I mean Zarbon
Zarbon, but at
becomes one
least
when he transforms. But
when he transforms, but his transformation is the first introduction to characters literally transform before Frieza does.
well, I mean, Great Ape kind of
Well,
just
that,
happened.
but still,
It's
you know
still a
what I mean.
transmission, yeah. Because technically, transformation started in like the first ever arc of Dragon Ball, if you count the Pilaf saga. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, for me, okay, this is a hot take. I'm actually not the biggest fan of the Frieza saga as a whole. I mean, this is split up
So,
into thirds, so most of what I
um,
like about the Frieza saga takes place in that last third when Frieza actually hits the field. Um,
mhm.
Up until that
So
point, not
basically,
as interesting. I
this
think.
whole time,
Hmm?
Go on and Krillin are playing a game of cat and mouse and don't wait, daddy.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, because they're all on the off foot. Vegeta's not even doing anything really much in this saga or this part of the arc. In this arc, um, it kind of comes down to just they're trying to keep the Dragon Ball away. I don't find it as interesting or as engaging. We get a little bit of lore when they meet Dende, some more world
And
building,
plus, there's
but
another
it's
major issue I have with this. It's
yeah.
because Bulma, she is completely useless in this arc because all she does is complain, yell at Krillin, go on, and always always saying, "Oh, where's the Dragon Balls? I just want the Dragon Balls. I want to get off this planet." Oh my God, Bulma, would you shut up for at least 2 minutes?
Again, not as bad in the manga as it is in the anime because they repeat things so much in the anime for the sake of extending runtimes. But it's just not as interesting to me. It starts the mystique of who Frieza is and how powerful and terrifying he really is. But I'm not as interesting. And the weakest part of the for this arc is it really feels like they're just waiting for Goku to get there so the story can happen. Is sort of my thing with it. It's less of an issue in the Ginyu Force arc. I mean, because Goku actually does show up, so that mitigates that problem.
Yeah.
Uh, but we'll get to that one in a second. But this one, it feels a lot like because none of the characters can do anything against the big bad. They have like no chance. They're all stuck on guerrilla
Oh, it's
tactics,
just a
and I guess some
complete
people could
crawl.
like that because it's a change of pace. I guess, but I just find it kind of dull, honestly, and it really does feel
Yeah,
like
it's
we're just
just a
waiting for Goku
complete
to get there
crawl
so the
apart
story can happen.
story.
So honestly,
So,
I would yeah, I
G.
like it less than the Ginyu, and I would put. I think I'm gonna say Ginyu should go at C. So I honestly think this might go D. This might be my first below average for me because I don't like it
Yeah,
very
D is
much.
best for this part of the saga.
Java opinion?
I'll be honest, I never watched it.
So just put it in never seen.
Read a book. No, if he hasn't seen it and we both think it goes to D, then it goes to D. So
So now move on
I
to the Ginyu Force.
yeah.
I never saw that arc.
Yeah, well, yeah, not so much. Okay, it's not a Ginyu. Okay, here's another
Goku's
hot
gonna
take. I
die.
don't like the
Goku's
Ginyu
gonna
Force
die.
much either. I honestly don't find them that entertaining. I mean, they're funny because of their whole Sentai thing, and
I love Raccoon.
I actually really like Tokusatsu now more than I did before. Now that I'm into Kamen Rider as well as Super Sentai, but uh, it's more interesting once Goku shows up because I think the fight, like once Vegeta comes back with his Zenkai boost and ices Jace, I like
Hmm.
that fight, and I also like the fight with Captain Ginyu himself, the whole body change thing, and then Goku throwing a frog to stop it from happening to Vegeta. I do
I
like
mean,
that, but everything else I'm kind of okay on. It's not bad. I don't dislike it. Like I said, I like it more than the previous
uh,
one, but
well, I also love the Raccoon versus Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin fight. I love that fight.
that is a pretty good fight.
Yeah,
It's
because
yeah.
it shows. how weak they are compared to Raccoon. Because Vegeta, you saw him literally bashing Raccoon right off the bat, and then Raccoon just does a pose and just, what was that? Is that all you can do?
That all you can to the dub. Is that all you can do for power?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, Raccoon just tosses Vegeta around like a rag doll after that.
Yeah, and the good, unlike the first part of this saga where it really feels like they're waiting for Goku to get there so the story can happen. At least this one, the fight with Raccoon is like what immediately precedes Goku showing up. So
And
there's sort
plus,
of a payoff for it a
Raccoon,
lot quicker, and there's also the payoff of Goku just one-shotting Raccoon as well.
yep, and also Raccoon almost killed a kid by snapping his neck off by kicking him.
Yeah, Gohan really had a rough time of things. Basically, his entire fucking life up until the end of the Cell Saga.
And Krillin gets one shot by Raccoon.
Oh yeah, well that's to no one's surprise. Yeah, I'd comfortably put this in C. Chava, did you see this one
Yeah,
either or no?
I saw parts of it. I remember the introduction of the Ginyu Force. But not much. Um, so I'm just gonna take your guys' word for it.
Just defer to our opinion. Or Toku Sentai goes in C.
I'm more conflicted with this one because I agree with your C, but I want a little higher to B. But high C.
I'm kind of thinking here. Uh, considering. All right, yeah, we can move it to a B, I guess. I can be okay. I still think it belongs closer to Z, but I can understand why you think it goes to B, so I'll defer and let it go to B. Okay, now the part that I actually like about the Frieza
Yes,
saga that
the
I'm not just
Frieza, the
kind of ambivalent
Frieza saga.
towards when Frieza actually starts fighting. That is like absolutely like the moment he shows up till the end of the saga. Actually, this one I really enjoy it.
Because
Um,
they know that they're screwed.
I'll be honest. Z.
okay, we're
Z,
starting
yes,
strong. Go
I
ahead
agree.
and state your case for that one.
Well, for one, it's the introduction of Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the most iconic moments in the history of anime.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the most famous transformation in anime.
Yes.
And something that every single kid watching that wanted to be.
Yes.
The bane of every neighbor because of the screaming children.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
True.
and I can vividly remember wanting to become a Super Saiyan at the age of
Awesome.
like 12.
Yeah, you guys ever
Um,
see that video? It's really old, but it's
like of the dude that like screams for like 3 minutes.
yeah, the black kid, and he's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
I don't remember his name at all, but he just like has this whole great speech, and then puts on the Super Saiyan 3 Falconer theme and just starts screaming. Oh my god, that shit's class. I'm like, how the
That,
fuck?
that kid's a legend.
How did he
Um,
look at that and think, yeah, I'm gonna post this on the internet for everyone to watch? God damn, even I wouldn't do that. I mean, I would now, but not when I was that age.
um, but the the fight itself really good.
Mm-hmm.
Krillin dies, so that's a plus.
Yes.
Um, and I think it's one of, if not the first time, if I remember correctly, like Goku was just like, "You're fucking dying."
No, it wasn't the
I'm
first
not. I'm
time. It happened in Dragon Ball, actually.
like I'm not gonna knock you out. I'm not like gonna teach you a lesson. I am killing you.
But then he does just try to
And
teach him a lesson, and that's just the funny thing.
yeah, then he does like to try to like reform him or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but the Super Saiyan transformation
Mm-hmm.
is one of the best sequences in the series.
Yes.
It's
Um,
certainly got a lot more oomph in the anime, because in the manga, it's literally just one page. It's like
yeah,
he does the little hair, the neck
like
forward thing, the pupils go, and then boom, he's Super Saiyan.
in the anime, it's like the entire planet's like shaking.
Mhm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
the ocean is like a bunch of waves and there's thunder everywhere. There's clouds and then boom.
Yeah, this could be an entire other conversation, but also as someone who could have watched the series with either the original Sumitomo soundtrack or no, not Sumitomo. That's the newer one. Kikuchi, the original Kikuchi score, the Falconer score. I had the option. I went with Falconer. I mean, I
Hmm.
watched it at first with the original score, but I like Falconer's more, and it's moments like Super Saiyan that I just the Falconer score is so much better. I don't know. Like Kikuchi does a lot of good for like the lighter moments and like the triumphant feeling moments, but for the badass moments, I can't get past how much better it sounds with Falcon. Like every really cool scene, would say for like one is better with the dub score in my opinion, which is another
Hmm.
Yeah,
opinion that people roast you on. So
this is also one of those times in anime where I feel like the dub was better than the sub.
oh,
Yes.
No offense to the old lady who's been voicing Goku for the past 40 years.
don't you
She's done
diss
an
Masako Nozawa
no,
on this stream or I will kill you.
she's been doing an amazing job, and I salute
Yeah,
her for being able to continue to do that at her age.
it's
But
insane.
but but the dub was just better.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sean Schimmel's
I will say
screaming.
the I think the Kai dub was really good. Honest, okay, like the transformation itself. Honestly, I think the original dub is the weakest version of it, in my opinion. I think
What?
the Kai dub is maybe the strongest for me, but I would actually take the
Hmm.
Japanese original dub over, like for that specific, just for that scream. I don't think the scream is his best. Like in Kai, holy shit, Sean kills it in Kai. But by that point,
Yeah,
he'd been
you
doing
can
it for so
legitimately
long.
hear Goku
Mm,
so angry that he literally explodes with rage and turns Super Saiyan.
Yeah, Sean really gets to like this, like really into the base of his throat in Kai. In the original dub, I don't know how recently you watched it, but I watched those comparison videos where they like show side by side, or like they do one and then the next, and it's just there's something about that yell that's kind of weak to me. It just kind of like, ah! And then it's like over. It's I don't know. I think Moscow knows all did better the first time. But anyway, that's a
Oh,
tangent. That's an entire tangent. That's another thing we could talk about comparing scenes between dub and sub and what we think of them. Um, okay, I mean, Super Saiyan strong contender. Just for, I mean, that is very true. Yeah, the fight is pretty iconic. There's a
and
lot to
Vegeta
love in it. I
crying.
mean, it is really good. The choreography is really great, and it like manga, anime, whichever. Uh, Big drag out fight. I hate how in the anime, even in Kai, there's certain filler left in that kills the fight. There's a filler episode where Goku gets like knocked into a crater and Gohan shows up for like all 5 minutes. He like comes back. I don't remember if he actually. I don't think he actually fights Frieza. He's like Gohan comes back.
No, he
She's like,
actually does.
yeah, I'm never. Oh, he does. I don't. I mean, final form
He
Frieza.
does. He's literally just punching Frieza in the stomach in his final form, not his full power form, but his final form.
Yeah,
Punch
see,
him in the
I'm just like
stomach, and
that.
Frieza
I
actually
hate
taking
shit like
damage.
that. I hate shit like that in the anime when they do things. It bugs the hell out of me. It breaks the pace of the fight. Manga doesn't have that
Hmm.
problem, obviously. Um, but just looking at it in from that point, but there is a lot to love here. I'm just trying to see if I would really teeter on putting it in Z. I mean, I know that's kind of the given,
Hmm.
but I mean, you get Piccolo coming back and doing some fighting, at least till Frieza goes into his third form. um Vegeta fighting sort of the final form, and we do get the big scene I actually like here almost as much as the whole Super Saiyan transformation is actually Vegeta's speech to Goku before he dies. That's
He
some
literally
good shit.
cries.
Yeah, that is like the last ring
I've
revenge
seen
of the
a
Saiyan
grown man
race.
cry.
It's good. I like that a whole lot because it's like kind of a big moment of character growth for Vegeta where we really see this weaker side of him, like that wasn't shown off up until this point. Like we knew
Well,
he had these
yeah, I don't blame
insecurities,
him.
but yeah.
He literally was taken away from his own father,
Yeah. We also have the Kaioken times 20 Kamehameha, which is dope as shit.
but it only changed
I
Frieza
don't I
form.
mean the Super Saiyan half of the fight is great, but I don't want to discount just base Goku against Final Form Frieza. That fight is also fantastic.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah, okay. I can see. I was gonna try and argue for S, but no, I agree. It should go to Z. Okay. Karlik Jr. Saga.
F.
Okay, admittedly, I have not seen this, so I don't
F.
have much of an opinion.
Nope. just no. Just put that to F. I don't
I'm gonna
care.
put that
Just
to
put it in
F.
F.
I haven't seen it.
That arc is shit. I hate it.
Well, that was
It
easy.
literally makes no
Okay,
sense. Why is
moving
Is
right
the
Garlic
one
on
killed?
called
into the
Garlic
Cell
Jr.?
Saga.
I don't know.
That might be one of the dumbest names I've ever heard.
Yeah, literally.
Garlic Jr.
They weren't even trying to make a pun out of food with him. Just call him Garlic Jr.
Okay, so now moving into the Cell Saga, we have 5 arcs here. I'm not sure these are broken up the way I would do it, but whatever.
Should we start with Mecha Frieza and King Cold?
Well, that's what this is, Trunks, right here. They call it the
Yeah, Trunks Arrival.
The Trunks arc for whatever reason. Yeah. So Trunks arc. So we have, yeah. So everyone shows up because Frieza returns. Trunks shows up, slices and dices, tells Goku about the future, and then they split up to train. And that's where I would say this arc ends. Is at the time skip when they have the 3 years of training.
Yeah.
Um,
I would put this at B.
B. I have to admit I'm a little biased on this one because I mean Future Trunks showing up is one of the most badass things in the series. He just comes out of nowhere and slices him up, and it's got a sword. I'm kind of a sucker for swords, but yeah, that's sort of all that really happens here. We get that, we get the future, so that is cool as we get this whole time travel plot going on. That would not be as complex as it could get, as which we found out in Dragon Ball Super. Uh, but yeah, as the starter to an arc, I can say B.
Yeah,
I
B is the best place for it.
yeah, because I wouldn't put it quite on the same level as the ending of the Saiyan Saga. So
So,
Java, what do you think?
Uh, Trunks has always been like one of my favorites. Again, because he just
awesome.
shows up with the fucking sword and
Mm-hmm.
just
Slices
cuts,
Frieza in half.
it just cuts the dude in half. Um, and I've always found that just like super cool.
Yes.
It's the one
But
victory the poor kid gets, aside from when he goes back to the future and ices the other androids.
yeah.
Yep.
And then comes back from the future.
Mhm.
And I have vague recollections of the Trunks saga.
Mhm.
Again, the only thing I remember is just like him coming in, kicking ass, taking names.
Mhm.
Um, there's probably more in that saga. Do I
Mhm.
remember it? No.
I
Do I care? Also, no.
I kind of ran you through most of what happened there, so
Yeah.
you're not really forgetting much. Because honestly, not a lot happens here. It really is just King Cold and Frieza show up, Trunks kills
Mhm.
them, future's happening, androids train.
Mhm.
That's this. It really is just saying out. So I'm gonna say B. B's. I think
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
pretty solid. I like it. I mean, I
Uh.
would put it. I'm gonna slide it over because I like it more than Ginyu.
Let's see. Next one is Android 19 and
Android.
20.
So Android. So this says Android Saga. So Advent of the Androids arc. So this is from when they attack the
Android
island,
eight.
when 19 and 20 show up
Android eight.
until when Imperfect Cell first appears. So here we have again Yamcha getting shish kebabbed. Poor
By
bastard.
Dr. Thoreau.
Um, Goku with the heart virus, losing the 19. Vegeta showing up, turning Super Saiyan and kicking 19's ass.
And making androids fear
Yeah,
him.
the activation of 17 and 8, 16, 17, and 18. Um, Vegeta quickly getting his ass kicked by Android 18. Um, Goku's out of commission after the fight, and
And Android 16 wants to kill Goku.
yeah, 16 wants to kill Goku, so that's what they go do. And Piccolo goes off to merge with Kami to fight the androids.
And then
While Vegeta sits there being pissy that he lost. So
Android 18, my beloved, my wife.
we'll
like
get to
yours.
mine later.
Um, probably higher than 2B.
Okay, this isn't a waifu rating. Let's focus on the
But
story that's happening here.
also, 19. He's pretty funny.
He's
um,
basically looks like a clown, doesn't he?
I, okay,
um,
this is hard for me to say because I want to put in A purely for Vegeta, like the Vegeta's first Super Saiyan transformation alone. I have the original dub version of that scene literally committed to memory. I
Hang
can
on,
quote it
hang on.
almost
Let
verbatim.
me try if I can remember it. So these are the devices that you android uses to steal raw people's energy. What's the matter? You started this game. Now you don't want to play anymore?
Wait, are you doing
You're having
Kai?
fun when you're sucking the life out of that Kakarot.
Wait, are you doing
So it's
Kai?
true after all. Androids do experience fear.
No. Or was that Kai? That was not the original
No,
dub.
that's not the Kai version. That's the original.
Like that's gonna be the Ocean dub with Brian Drummond because that's not not the one I
Yeah,
know.
but I still like that one because he literally made Android 19 piss his pants.
Yeah, I was watching your battle with you because this was like the original dub. Like Chris Sabat's Vegeta voice kind of develops because it's a lot closer to Brian Drummond's version because Brian Drummond is like the original. It's over 9,000, like the high pitched, more like higher raspier one. So like in
Hmm.
the dub, or in the Funimation dub, that's kind of where Sabat puts his Vegeta voice at first. It's sort of emulating that, but a bit deeper, and it kind of
Hmm.
loses that over time. But in the Android saga, it was still kind of like that. Uh, I'm not gonna do the whole thing. That'd be dumb. Also, I can't yell or anything because people are asleep in this house. Um, Actually, one thing also I did want to note is that Cell Saga onwards is when the animation style changed. It
Hmm.
went from the more rounded look of the Saiyan and Frieza Saga to the sharper, more angled look that we have through the rest of the series, which I much prefer. Which is another reason I kind of like when it comes to the anime. I like Cell Saga onward better for rewatches. Uh, I don't know.
So
I do like
we're
the.
gonna put this.
It's hard for me to do because I like the first two fights. Or I like the fight with 19 with both Goku and Vegeta. Um, Piccolo Smackdown at 20, but there's not a whole lot aside from that. And also Vegeta gets his ass kicked by 18, which is still entertaining, but it wounds my pride.
Well, yeah, 18 literally just breaks his arm by just kicking it.
Yeah, so I would put this at a solid B as well.
I also love that 17 could have he's like the super powerful android
Hmm.
um winner of the tournament of power,
Yes.
and he decides to become a humble, hardworking man and go
Hmm.
into park ranger service.
Yes.
Well, that's actually that's still a thing in the original, or at least I think that was
It's
in
at
like a
the end of
Toriyama.
Z, almost towards the end of Z, when Goku had to form the Spirit Bomb and
Yeah.
launch a
Well,
boost.
that's in the anime, but before that, I don't remember if it was in a Daizenshu or if it was just some other Toriyama interview. But I feel like 17 want to be a park ranger was mentioned prior to the end of Z. Um,
Hmm.
that's just like a thing. And, it's like how often do you have that like a freaking anime villain? And it's just like I want to go range a park, man.
That's like if if the original Predator movie had
Hmm.
like a sequel, and
Hmm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Dutch just like then decided to become like a mall cop.
Yes.
I'd pay to see that.
Like he's like this Giga Chad, like absolute like apex of the human race who took down a predator, and he works at like the Arden Fair Mall guarding a
Hmm.
fucking Apple store.
No, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
basically.
you're saying that as a joke, but I'm thinking I would watch the shit out of that movie. Like, you
Okay.
got Arnold Schwarzenegger, because it's almost like a kindergarten cop scenario, but it's still like his skill set's still relevant. Because I'm imagining
Hmm.
something like Paul Blart, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger instead of whoever the actor is that played Paul Blart.
Yeah, I
Like,
was thinking
imagine how
that.
different, like like he just goes commando on them, like executing these fuckers.
He has
mall.
guns hidden throughout the mall
No,
that
no,
he
no, no, no,
takes
no,
out.
no. He has no guns. It's just what he has
Oh,
in the mall. Like he finds like a pike at a sporting goods
S-
store
so
or a hardware store and just goes ape shit. That's what I
he
want
like
to
Home
see.
Alones it pretty much then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I meant going commando as in he fucking murders them all with like reckless abandon. Not that he actually suits up like he does at the end of Commando, strapped with like every type of firearm known to mankind, and bandolier grenades, and then
Hmm.
still ends up in a knife fight before the film's out. God, I have not watched Commando in a long time. I know I want to watch Commando. Damn it, I'm gonna have to
Commando's a
do
good
that.
movie.
Commando's a fucking
Mm.
awesome movie. Anyway, Dragon Ball. Any disagreements that Android arc should be placed at B?
Um, I
Uh,
think it's a good placement right there.
I think maybe higher than the Trunks saga, between
Yeah,
maybe Trunks
I
and Raditz.
I
I
think
would actually place it above
I can agree
Raditz. I
with
would
that.
place it
Yeah,
like the highest tier B we've gotten so far.
high tier
Yeah,
B.
Okay. That's what I'm doing.
Now the
Okay,
Cell Saga.
Imperfect Cell Saga. So this runs until basically from when Piccolo merges with Kami to go
Hmm.
find Cell up until um he absorbs 18. So I am going to include up to the fight with Trunks when he goes Super Saiyan Grade 3.
Yeah,
I'm including up to that point as the end of this section of the story. So we've got
mm.
Cell's arrival, having eaten an entire town. Um,
And you literally see a person being liquefied to death by Cell.
yes, the
it is
fight
one of
with
the like more gruesome, like
Yeah, you could
arcs.
literally
The,
hear his
yeah.
bones
the
getting.
entire Cell
Well, and
saga.
see, yeah. Well, and here's the thing: is the anime toned the manga down. Like the manga actually has is a little more brutal. Actually, as another side tangent, this is what I've been happy with the Dragon Ball Super manga more as of late is they've brought more of the brutality back because it's been I mean, the Super anime hasn't been as brutal because it's got a different time slot. Dragon Ball Z played on like a later in the day time slot, so they Japan's got different rules for what you can do based on time. It kind of like I guess kind of like here where they have Adult Swim on Cartoon Network after
Mhm.
a certain hour. I don't know if that's a rule or if they just do that because that's when adults are on the programming block. But in Japan, like you can't do certain things certain times of the day, and that's just entirely based on where or what time things play. So because Super, that's why you don't have a lot of blood in Super. There's not a lot of intense violence. I'm hoping that if slash when the Super anime comes back, it'll come back on a later time slot, because like people get pierced through the torso, which is my favorite shit in Dragon Ball. That
Mhm.
happens a couple of times in the Moro saga, and just things like that. I really want them to keep that brutality when the anime comes. I like what they did with Bleach,
Plus,
because Bleach had a
I
similar
want.
problem.
Plus, I also want to say I love Imperfect Cell for being like a monster, like alien. Just run away. Just you need to survive from him.
Yeah, but this also has the fight between Piccolo and 17, which is fantastic.
Yep.
It's a real
And
stand-up
also,
performance.
I love Imperfect Cell's voice. I loved it.
Yeah, we've actually met his voice. We have met
Yeah,
his
I
voice actor.
remember. I didn't I tell you that I got it. I gave him
His
my leadership.
disembodied voice.
Yeah.
God, if we went to a
Well,
convention, it's just like an
actually,
echo.
he did. Yeah, he did the voice. He said, "Well, if it isn't Imperfect Cell."
That was perfect cell. Didn't he send you? Yeah, he sent your perfect cell leader card, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he said
Yeah,
did say that. It was awesome hearing him saying that.
yeah. I got him to sign my Full Metal Alchemist Blu-rays because he did Scar in the original Double Full Metal Alchemist, but the debate on
And
which of those is better is another topic for another day.
at least I got him to sign the Perfect Cell card.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Too bad SAC Anime doesn't do a lot of free signatures anymore. Those were the good old days, I tell you what. Anyway, trying to think what else we got here. Yeah, so there's that. There's 16 versus Imperfect Cell, where he actually puts up a
And
really good
Android
fight.
Imperfect Cell turns into Semi Perfect Cell,
Yeah, he absorbs
which
17.
I hate. I hate Semi Perfect Cell. His design is stupid.
I really don't mind it. I,
It's
it's
just that
different. Like I'll admit it's definitely
problem
the
I have with
weakest,
him
but
is that when his first introduction as Imperfect Cell, he literally looks like something out of a horror film. And then next thing you know, when he evolves, he looks stupid.
yeah, I don't mind it. It's certainly the weakest of the three and
And
design
plus
wise, but
those lips. Those fucking lips, man.
eh,
Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. It's whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. Well, okay. Yeah, I understand why that would kind of mess with it a bit, but I like it.
And
I
plus,
like the
at least,
tension when he's trying to find 18. He starts
well,
blowing up islands. I almost said planets.
there is one redeeming quality I'll say. He gets his ass kicked by Super Vegeta.
Yes, and that was what I was gonna lead into. Was post time chamber, Vegeta just comes out and absolutely kicks Cell's ass. That is so good, and even when it's followed by Vegeta allowing Cell to get go absorb Android 18, they reach full power. One, we get the fight between like the short fight between Trunks and Vegeta, which is entertaining in its own right. But then after Cell goes perfect, we hit the final flash, which is hands down like my favorite moment of this entire arc,
Yeah,
or
it's
entire
hands
saga.
down the coolest part of
It
the
tops
saga.
honestly for me. It kind of tops out even Gohan going Super Saiyan 2. Like I fucking love, especially with again the Falconer dub score.
Hmm.
God, goosebumps every fucking time I watch it. I love that scene to death. It's just so fucking cool. And
Hmm.
it's also another reason why I hate Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because they left that scene out entirely. It is not in the game. They also leave out the fight between Trunks and Cell entirely as well, probably because they didn't want to actually fucking make another model for Trunks to go Super Saiyan Great P. Anyway, um, I could talk about why I hate that game another day.
Hmm.
Um, But yeah, then as I
Well,
said, it
anyways,
kind of ends with that fight. And
are we gonna
honestly, the
wait
fight
for?
between Trunks and Cell is pretty fun, even if it doesn't go anywhere. And there's Gohan and Goku in the time chamber. We see that here too. So
Mhm.
mm,
I would say A.
I'm kind of trending towards A as well. I really, really like this stretch of the story. There's a lot to love here.
Yeah, I'd say A also.
Okay. Would we say higher than Saiyan, End of Saiyan Saga or lower than End of Saiyan Saga?
Higher.
Higher?
Uh, hmm.
Not sure.
I was gonna go.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
not. I'm
honestly.
not.
I'm kind of torn. I was thinking lower actually, but now I'm double thinking that.
Well, we could go
I don't
lower if you
know.
want. It doesn't bother me as long as it's an A.
No, no. Now I'm thinking about it though. I'm trying to weigh the two, just in terms of how much I enjoy them. Nah, I gotta say higher. I'm gonna say higher. Just
Final Flash.
I'm thinking just final between Final Flash and even the beatdown that precedes it. It's just too good.
Yeah.
Not quite as strong. Okay, so for some reason they split this into two: the Cell games and the Perfect Cell. Dude, you can't say perfect like super perfect Cell is its own arc, cause it's like barely like I know it's less than 10 chapters. I don't know how many it is off the top of my head, but that's almost nothing. So I'm gonna say this is the same thing. So we have the announcement of the Cell games up until the end of the Cell Saga is what I'm gonna say. That I'm gonna group these two together because it doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense to separate them to me. Um, because it's all part of the same like part of the story.
Um,
Holy shit! This one's
this
gonna
is
be
an
a little
insane
difficult to
one.
choose because we've got well, Mr. Satan drags the start of this arc down
Yeah,
for
he
me.
kind of drags it.
Like I fucking hate Mr. Satan in this, at least in this saga. I hate him to death, and it's even worse in the anime. The anime slows down so much more. Um,
And
I
plus,
I'm
the
so
humans in
confused.
in this world of Dragon Ball, they're completely
They're
stupid because
stupid as shit.
they completely forgotten Goku and Piccolo's fight.
Well, I mean, I think only the king was there to witness that. I don't remember if that was televised off the top of my head.
Yeah, the king was the only one that witnessed that.
Yeah, and if it was televised, like it's very different now. Um,
Yeah,
and
but
also,
yeah,
he's
the
Super Saiyans.
humans
They
in
wouldn't have
the Dragon
recognized
Ball
him
universe
anyway.
are just flat out idiots.
But yeah, so that's only like that's my only real gripe with this arc because we've got uh sort of Goku chilling and there's this whole thing like we don't know why Goku's so relaxed. He's like, I'm not strong enough to beat Cell, but it's okay, it'll work out. And we're just all kind of left up, just like, what does this mean?
Like
What
what?
is like why is Goku so nonchalant about this? And then we get the really good fight between him and Cell, which is then followed by Obviously, the fight
That's
with
interesting.
Gohan, the Cell
Yeah,
Juniors, Cell trying to pull out his full power, and then finally 16's death and Gohan's awakening, which is the
and
one scene
16
that I have to
speech.
cede to the original dub because You May Know He is such a good fucking song for this moment. I have to hand it to that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and there's that. Um, the
and the Cell
overconfidence, the
Juniors
self
getting one shot.
destruction, Goku's sacrifice, Cell's return, and
Hmm.
then Vegeta
The
going
most,
berserk on Cell, which I think is a slept on moment. I love that moment. And then,
and also the most epic beam struggle of all time.
yeah, and then we got the
Solar
Kamehameha.
Kamehameha versus the one-handed Kamehameha slash Father Son Kamehameha.
Yeah, leading to the culmination of blasting Cell to smithereens after Vegeta
Yep.
distracts him because victory for Vegeta.
Yes.
And then we get the end where Goku decides to stay dead for the good of the Earth.
For 7 years.
Well, well, he was still dead when he came back. He was just a
Until
temporary thing.
prophets demand otherwise.
Yeah. For a second, when you said prophets, I was thinking like religious prophets. Like, and then
The
the angel
prophets
Goku just. I
descend.
mean, actually, that's accurate. The angel Goku descends to save the planet.
The
Hmm.
I mean,
prophets, the
that's not.
Sanshayun from Halo.
I mean, that's not why he came back, but uh,
Hmm. Well,
yeah.
anyways,
So, shit. It's hard for me to choose between S and Z for this because I feel like if we keep going, the final
I would
arcs are gonna end up in Z.
say, I
Mm.
would say S.
I don't know. Okay, see, for me personally, I like this more than Frieza. A lot more than Frieza, actually.
So
So
you're gonna put it at a higher Z,
I would
right?
put it in. I put it in Z only because Frieza's in Z. Like if I was rating this by myself, I probably would have put the end of the Frieza saga in A or S. And if I put it in S, I would be rating this above it in S.
Hmm.
So because Frieza's in Z, I'm gonna have to say this goes in Z.
Okay.
Because the one thing I don't like about it is Mr. Satan, but he in the manga he's basically not an issue after the first couple of chapters, and then
Hmm.
it's just not anime where it really drags on. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Java?
Mm, Uh, this is Cell Games, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Cell Game's
Um,
the end of the Cell Saga.
hmm. Uh, let's see. Gohan reaching Super Saiyan 2. Uh, Also pretty iconic moment.
Hmm.
The fact that he's the first one to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The first, even before Goku.
Hmm.
It was pretty cool.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Overall, the Cell games themselves, were pretty cool. That had some pretty funny parts too, like when Hercule Satan went up against uh Cell, he just smacked him away.
It's the
He
one good
basically
part when he
bitch
got
slapped
bitch
him.
slapped into a cliff. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that was pretty fun.
Hmm.
Overall, I mean, what were you two saying? Sorry, I like
I
zoned
said
out.
S.
I said Z
S, S or Z?
because I like this more than the end of the Frieza saga. So for me, it like I said that
I,
because Frieza
I,
Saga's in
I,
Z, I have to say Z. Because if Frieza Saga was like in S, I would just say it's above
I
it in
would
S.
say,
But
I would say Z, but below the Frieza saga.
I'm saying Z, but
Yeah,
above
I
the
would
Frieza
agree with that
Saga.
there. At least there.
All right. Well, since you both say below the Frieza Saga, I'll say that even though I could just say it's my fucking podcast and it can go where I want it to, but I'll put it
So
below.
basically, our opinion in this means nothing.
I mean, yeah, I'm the fucking host. I can do what I want. This is my
Oh,
show.
okay.
This is my show. Do what you do on my show. But no, I'll put.
Okay.
Okay, I'm putting it. I'm putting it below the Frieza saga on Z, but you're both wrong, and it should be above it. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Moving on to a filler saga. I actually kind of liked the Otherworld saga. I think it was completely passable. PyCon's fun. Super
Yeah.
Kaioken was really cool.
Hmm.
And some of the fights were interesting. It's been a long time since I last watched it, but I remember the fight with the water dude was kind of interesting, where Goku's like stuck in a sphere of water and he had to fight his way out of it.
Hmm.
The fight between he and PyCon was really dope. There's
Mm,
also like Pycon just dismantling Cell when they get called to hell uh,
yes.
to stop him. So I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's, but it's just like
Uh,
passable. The filler, I'd put it at C probably.
yeah,
I've never
C is
seen it.
more like it. So C, yeah.
I mean, as far as filler arcs go, it was really I
I
liked
would
it.
put it like around low C.
Yeah, well, we only have C right now, so I'm just
Oh,
putting it
okay
at
then.
C.
Just making
It's our
sure.
first C. We've got nothing in S tier so far. Okay, here's where I'm gonna start. I might start overruling people because the Boo Saga is my favorite saga. So
Mm-hmm.
starting with the Great Saiyaman Saga, I fucking love Great Saiyaman arc. I know a lot of people hate it. People bitch about going. Oh, that's right. I forgot to do my whole screen about Goku being a bad father. That could be that could be a discussion for a completely different time. We've already been streaming for an hour and a half, and we still have the rest of Boo to get through, and then we might go through Super. Um,
Yes.
okay, but no, so I will do my Gohan screed here though, because my problem with Gohan fans is that almost all of them, what they want is they want him to be like he is in the Cell Saga. They want Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. They want that Gohan, but they make the same mistake Goku does, where they don't like the Gohan doesn't want to fight. Like that's not his thing. He doesn't get the same kick out of it that the other Saiyans do. He does it because he steps up and does it because he has to. Uh, so that's why I love the first part of the Buu saga, because it's Gohan just kind of like letting this for him, like stopping criminals is fun for him. It's not like this high stakes fight where he's pitching it. It's just him using his power to help people, but also the
Mm-hmm.
whole him trying to keep his identity a secret and going to school. I just really love that. I love it when Dragon Ball takes a break from the insanity for a minute just to sort of like kind of bring things back to what's normal in that world. And the fact that we've got this kid that literally destroyed a galaxy threatening monster, and now he's just trying to go to school. I get a kick out of him trying to hold back his power when he's playing baseball and everything. I just really love it. I love the Great Saiyaman. I love when he like leans later on in the series when he keeps like ending up being the Great Saiyaman again.
Yeah.
I just really like this is my favorite version of Gohan, is when he's just relaxed and doing his own thing.
Yes.
Uh, I, I'm gonna be saying this a lot. Didn't I did watch it. I didn't watch too much of it. Um, However, the parts I do remember, uh, I did kind of enjoy. Mainly for the same reasons you were talking about. Like, there's Gohan, and like he's like arguably like one of, if not the strongest characters currently in the series at this point.
I mean, he's less
Well,
strong
after
now than he was before,
especially in
but
Yeah,
superhero, he's definitely the strongest.
and it's like yeah, like he destroyed a like galaxy level threat, and now he has to deal with high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which gotta say is a pretty cool introduction. You know, with those stupid like, oh, introduce yourselves at the beginning of high school classes. It's like, oh, hey, my name's Gohan. I could crack this planet in half, so don't piss me off.
but that's
Um,
not his character, which is the best part, is that he's always trying to hide that shit. It's so
yeah.
what kills me is in the like I think this is in both the manga and the anime, but when he shows up and the one blonde dude Sharpner, it's just like that guy's a like look at that skinny guy, and I'm like, are we looking at the same character? Even though he has been training, the dude's still like ripped as fuck. Like what the fuck is Sharpner talking about?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
My,
I would
my man is like just shredded to all hell, and he's just like, yeah,
I
you
mean,
know.
they all are. Is like that's the funniest shit. It's just like whenever they're like, God, I'm so weak and out of shape, and they're still like more stacked than a fucking Joestar.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so for me personally, I love this one. I can't in good conscience rate it on the same level as I can't put it at A. If this was my own list, I would absolutely put it at A, but I am going to fight very hard for this being like a high B. Like I would put this like at the highest B, honestly.
Well,
Well, your opinion
oh,
doesn't matter, so on high B it goes.
okay.
I was gonna say B. Um, anywhere in B, really.
hmm
Well, I was gonna surprise you.
Oh yeah,
I actually wanted A.
really?
Yes, because, well, originally, at first, I didn't really care as much, but after watching the newest manga chapter of Dragon Ball Super, and just like, I actually like this, and I look back at the Saiyan Man saga, and it's like, oh wow, this is actually pretty good,
All right,
and I
cool. Well, an
actually
A it
enjoy
goes
it.
then. Cool. All right,
So
perfect.
I
That's my
actually enjoy
first.
it.
That's my first real hot take, I think. Well, okay, aside from rating the Frieza saga a little
Because
bit.
I actually love the idea that what you guys just said. I actually love it.
Yeah, that's what I like Gohan at his best. That's also why I really like him in Resurrection F as well, because I think it's like the epitome of Gohan. It's like he's called on to fight because he has to. He's not as strong as he used to be, but he still gives it everything he's got. And that's why I love actually the anime's version of those events when he does the whole call himself. We'll get to that. Okay.
So is the next one the tournament?
Yeah, this is the 23rd Budokai
Tenkaichi
Tenkaichi.
Budokai.
Tenkaichi Budokai, yeah. I said Budokai. I'm so used to playing those games, damn it. Yeah.
This one,
Mm.
I hmm,
So this
was a
is,
little
I'm
tricky.
counting this as, well, see, yes, I hate this shit. It's like Majin Buu Saga. The whole thing's the Majin Buu Saga. So I'm basically counting this as everything up until Buu's revival. So like basically the end of
Majin.
Goku and Majin Vegeta's fight is what I'm counting this as.
Um,
So there's
yeah,
Goku returns to life. Um, Videl gets. Oh, by the way, Videl is my bae,
gets, bru-
especially as she is in Super. Oh, she's so cute in Super. Um,
but she got brutalized by
oh
Spokovich.
yeah, but I love that part just because it puts Gohan so close to the edge of just forgetting everything and wasting the dude. Uh, but that's great. We get more
That's
cute moments. We get cute moments between those two in this saga.
that's Gohan's wife, right?
Yeah,
Videl.
yeah.
Yeah, Vidal's Gohan's wife.
Not yet because they're still in high school here, but
Not yet,
uh
but they're
this
boyfriend
is
girlfriend
this is when they're
technically.
meeting, yeah.
Mhm.
When that relationship happens, which is great because I love their interactions up to this point where she like basically blackmails him into joining the tournament since she finds out he's the great Saiyaman because Gohan is kind of an idiot and like lets that slip. Oh no, I had this
And
freaking
Vidal finding out that this whole time Gohan is the Golden Warrior that killed Cell.
yeah, well they should find that out later. Um
Yeah.
yeah, so there's that. There's the whole plot with Supreme Kai and Kibito trying to track down Babidi, and then there's the whole 2 or 3 Babidi ship, which I love because one of the biggest tropes that Dragon Ball, especially early like Dragon Ball leans on a lot is the whole really cocky adversary like just gets his shit kicked
Hmm.
in like one move by the main character or some other main character because I
Hmm.
love because so much Dragon Ball just like, oh, this kid's gonna fight me, and then one punch they're down. Like a certain bald superhero would rip off many years later. Uh, and this is like kind of the first time really in Z we get that because Vegeta, Gohan, and Goku are all taken through the ship by Supreme Kai after Dabura petrifies Piccolo, Krillin, and Kibito. Or no, he kills
And
Kibito
also
and then petrifies the others.
the moment that Babidi literally explodes Spokovich by his magic.
Oh yeah, and that. Who cares? They
I
But they
know,
go
but
through this
that
tour
scene is
and Supreme Kai.
brutal, man.
It's just
Just
so
the your insights just expand and just explode.
yeah, it's like this the North Star. But it's just so great because we get that trope from both sides. Because Supreme Kai's the whole time is like, no, you guys don't understand. If we fight together, we might be able to defeat Babidi's warriors. And then they're freaking playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to fight Pui first. And Pui's just like, why, you fools? I have the planet Zoon. I have like all this shit. And they're like, he's like 10 times gravity. And we all know 10 times gravity doesn't mean shit because that's like what planet Vegeta
Vegeta just
basically
basically
is
one shots
anyway.
him.
Yeah, but then Vegeta just cocky as all hell, just absolutely destroys briefly. Like, and each one is like that. And then Yakon until you get to Dabura, where we see how how much Gohan has kind of fallen out of practice, but that fight's still good. I still enjoy that fight.
Yeah,
Uh,
but didn't they say that Deborah is similar to Cell's power, kind of?
yeah, similar, and Gohan has lost some of his just
He
because he hasn't been
lost his
focused on training.
touch.
Because he still has Super Saiyan, he still has access to Super Saiyan 2, but his base form is weaker because he hasn't kept up with his training, which is a common
Hmm.
theme with Gohan, especially in recent, like more recent chapters or recently in the series. It's something they keep doing, and it bugs the shit out of me. It's like,
Well,
oh,
yeah, it's
Gohan's
Imagine if
super.
he had trained.
yeah, well, that's what we find out in superhero,
I think
but
he would have reached Super Saiyan 3, no problem.
oh, we don't know about that because no, like outside of Gotenks, Goku's the only character that's really reached Super Saiyan 3 in canon. So
Hmm.
we don't know specifically. We like the Super Saiyan 3 is kind of a enigma, honestly. There's a lot we don't know about it. Uh,
Okay, back to the
yeah,
fight
back to
with
what we
Yonkan
were
and
saying.
Goku.
Yeah, and so then we get to um damn it, there was something else I wanted to say, but I lost it.
So basically, Yonkan just literally just dies from Goku because Goku's powering up and Yonkan sucking up all of his life,
Yeah.
the power, and then all of a sudden his body gets expanded because Goku's power is so intense
Yeah,
that
because Goku
he
hits Super
can't
Saiyan
handle it.
2. Yeah, Goku goes full power Super Saiyan 2, and that's too much.
And
And
then
that's when
that's
realizes
when
that
Vegeta
he's
gets
been
pissed off.
outclassed. Yeah. Um,
Eyes of cringe.
yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. How modern Dragon Ball it keeps like, oh, Gohan's not kept up with his training, he's weaker. Oh, Gohan's training now, he's stronger. Oh, Gohan's not kept up with his training, he's weaker. Oh, Gohan's training. They keep doing that, and it bugs the shit out of me. Anyway, so
Well,
all
I
that
guess
happened.
because they need a way of like it's now known that Gohan is going to be stronger than Goku. But they can't have him, I guess, at that power yet because Goku is still, the
Hmm.
poster boy.
Well, he's always been the poster boy, but Gohan's stronger. Actually, by the end of the boost, I mean, okay, not including the ending of Z, because we don't know where the power scaling is, because Gohan's probably weaker again because he hasn't trained it again. But end of the fight with Kid Buu, Gohan's still stronger than Goku. Like Ultimate
Yes.
Gohan is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That's just a
Well,
fact.
yeah, because Grand Kai literally just bring out his full potential.
Old Kai.
Yeah, the old Kai,
Grand Kai's not canon.
technically not.
But I feel like
Unless you count Super, he's canon.
That's true.
they can't have him at that power yet because again, Goku's the poster boy. They want Goku to be stronger, so it's like nerf him a little bit. Focus on Goku. Once Goku is sufficiently strong enough, uh, give Gohan some love, and then he's
Yeah.
stronger than Goku. But then he doesn't train, so that now he's not as strong as
It,
Goku.
it's
But then
just
he's
it's
stronger than
So
Goku.
it's
it just
just a
bothers me that they
constant
keep doing
cycle.
that. Like I like Gohan to stay like how he is in Resurrection F. I don't want him to be the strongest because that's not who he is. That's not what he starts to be. I like what they're doing with his character. Like because end of Golden Frieza saga, it's like okay he got really beat up and he
Well,
recognizes
yeah,
that he
Frieza
needs to be able
literally
to
death
fight to
beamed him
protect.
shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, he needs to be able to fight to protect the planet and his family. So that's when he starts training again. And by the the future Trunks saga, he has been training again. Like we see that. But then we get to the Tournament of Power saga, and it's like he hasn't really been training very hard because he can only go. I don't even remember if he goes Super Saiyan 2 in the fight against Lavender. I haven't watched any of Super since it like originally premiered, essentially.
Well, yeah, he did go Super Saiyan 2 against Lavender while he was poisoned by Lavender.
Yeah, and he almost lost that fight still.
Yeah, he
And then it
almost lost.
yeah, but then it wasn't until after that that he like trains more, I guess, and actually gets his power
And I
back.
think Ultimate Gondor was able to keep up with Super Saiyan Blue.
Trying to follow the power scaling on Super is almost impossible because you can never
Mhm.
tell when they're actually going because oh yes, also Krillin and Android 18 fought Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and obviously that wasn't at full power, or they would have
And
fucking
Android
died.
17 was able to protect himself
Yeah,
against
but
Super
but
Saiyan
but
Blue Kaioken.
But yeah, but then Android 17 fights Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, and Ultimate Gohan fights Super Split. The problem is they just keep using Super Saiyan Blue because it's the new form, but like,
Mhm.
it doesn't make it look as there's no way Goku's actually going all out against them because 17 cannot be that strong. There's just no way. It wouldn't make sense with what we see and with his performance in the tournament. Like, because he doesn't like
I mean, he was able to survive against Jiren.
Well, by
Yeah, but that was
dodging
like
and
that was
shielding, which is not the
that, that,
same.
that was also like when 17 starts to fight Jiren. That's like Jiren's running on fumes.
Yeah,
He's
and
he's
also
tired.
and also in that fight, Android 17's on fire support. Like he's not on the front line with Goku and Frieza. He's
I mean, he
providing
literally
support from the back
explodes.
lines.
He literally just blows himself up when it's surrounding Jiren in in his energy barrier, and it just
Mm-hmm.
explodes.
Yeah, but he didn't actually that amounted
I
to
mean, he
that
didn't
to
die, but I'm just saying
yeah.
that's pretty cool that he's just a pyrotechnics guy.
Yeah. Anyway, the power scaling of Dragon Ball Super, we can get to that later. We're still in the Majin Buu saga.
Okay, back to we're
Yeah,
getting off
back
topic. We need to
once
go back
again
to the
back to the will we ever finish this list? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
okay,
Okay,
back to the
so
book.
yeah, so possession, Majin Vegeta, kick ass.
I guess.
Another scene I really love is Goku threatening Supreme Kai because he's trying to stop him from fighting Vegeta. The fight
And I
between
realized
Goku and Majin Vegeta might be my
if
favorite fight in the entire series.
and plus that it would have been really interesting if Goku actually did kill him because Beerus would not exist.
Exactly. Bye bye, Beerus. Problem solved. No Dragon Ball Super. Straight to GT.
Oh God, why?
Yeah. Why
Rather
not?
not.
Why not? It's the better question. No. No, we'll get to GT. I'll fight all of you on GT.
Mm,
Um, but so we get the fight between those two. Gohan and Supreme Kai go back in. Gohan gets around to it to Burra, and then Buu is released because of the fight
yes.
between Goku and Vegeta. Uh,
So how we're gonna rank this?
this is kind of this is sort of similar where I just really like this personally. Like this is gonna be me for most of most of the Buu Saga stuff. It is my favorite. I really enjoy a lot of it, even though some people don't like it. Or actually, that's a lot of people that rank this as their lowest, which
Hmm.
is funny because for me, like Frieza Saga is my lowest, easy. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I love that they bring back the cocky villains getting one-shotted trope.
Hmm.
Um, the fight between Goku and Majin Vegeta is probably my favorite fight in the series.
And also Vegeta's speech towards Goku saying why his existence torments him.
Yeah, there's that whole fight is just spectacular. I fucking love it. Um, there's just a lot of great character moments. For Vegeta mostly in this section of the story. Um,
And I
Yeah, this
personally,
is a lot of character growth for Vegeta.
yeah.
yeah,
This is this is
I
this is where he like grows a lot.
yeah
Well,
I would
yeah,
I would put this
he was like Frieza's underling, and later on he becomes a father, and he actually loves his family.
yeah. No, I would put this at S. I'd say this is the first S rank. I would put this above everything in A rank.
So is this the entire Majin Buu
No,
saga,
this is up
or
until
just
Majin Buu's actually released. This is like right after
okay?
the end of Goku and Vegeta's fight. After Vegeta
Um,
wins.
yeah, S.
Oh no, you're not supposed to see that. No way, go away. Okay, yeah, S rank. Cool, good. We finally got something in S rank.
Um,
There's another case where I think the original dub is kind of better than the Kai dub. I like the original dub a lot better. I feel like the original dub they sort of worked through most of the
yeah,
dubisms by the time they got through most of the Cell Saga. There's not a lot of them here. There's still the clown thing. You clown! That's still here.
yeah.
But I feel like it's a lot closer to the original story
Hmm.
for the most part. Though again, there's a conversation to be had about dub versus sub, but another
Yes.
time.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now we're moving on to what this thing calls the Majin Buu saga. I'm going to say this is, again, this is kind of short. I would say this is so for when Boo's released up until when Goku returns to Otherworld is what I'm gonna say this is. So we've got
Uh-huh.
um Gohan and Supreme Kai nearly dying, trying to fight
Hmm.
Majin Buu destroying a bunch of the planet,
Yeah.
um or killing people by turning into candy, eating them.
And literally turning the king of the demon realm into a cookie
Yeah, there's that being Dabura. And
and beat the crap out of Majin Vegeta.
yeah, all of that. Yeah, the fight Majin Vegeta, so Vegeta's final atonement and Super Saiyan 3 are sort of the big things. You also get more Goten and Trunks. I forgot to mention Goten and Trunks entirely, actually, because Goten and Trunks is another big thing I like the tournament for. is their fight. Like, because that's another thing. It's more of the cocky villain getting easily defeated because Goten and Trunks both do that with their matches. And then they have
Yeah.
their great fight where they're both not supposed to use Super Saiyan, but Goten does anyway.
Hmm.
And there's the whole Trunks knocking the shit out of Mr. Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely S tier. Uh, but yeah, so we have a little more Goten and Trunks action here. We've got the great moment between Trunks and Vegeta before Vegeta blows himself up.
And also Majin Buu killing Babidi.
Yeah, that does happen here as well, actually. So that's after
Which
Goku
I
leaves.
I would say I like Majin Buu for that because Bobby is a bitch.
Yeah, and again, this is another thing where in the manga is more brutal because the manga it shows like Bobity's head just getting completely punched off his body in a
Well,
lot
yeah,
more
because Majin
detail.
Buu just literally punches his head so hard that it just explodes.
It basically, yeah, it's pretty brutal.
And after that, insult to injury, he throws his body in midair and just blasts it and it's turned to smithereens.
Mm-hmm. It'll happen. Yeah, this one, fuck. See, here's the other
I
thing.
would
The Super
say
Saiyan 3 transformation sequence, like, thanks to the anime, is my favorite transformation sequence in the series.
the dub is
It's
better.
the dub absolutely kills it. Like
Yeah,
Sean Schimmel's scream.
no, and voice acting, yeah, absolutely. I think he kills it here. I like this better than the Kai version and the original. And even voice acting notwithstanding, this transformation is not complete without the Super Saiyan 3 theme, which is probably my favorite track from the Falconer score. It's
Yeah.
so good. I love
Mhm.
it so much. I would so I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to put this in S as well.
Yeah, I was thinking I'd put it at.
Majin Buu S,
Yeah.
A minimum,
I'm gonna
but
put it
an S
I'm
definite.
gonna put it as I'm gonna put it below World Tournament because I do like that a little
Yeah.
bit more. Um,
Mhm.
just
So
because
next
we have it like the best
one.
fight, but yeah, it's still they're very closely in my opinion.
So the next one
Fusion,
is when Evil
Fusion
Boo
arc.
comes out, right?
So Fusion arc. This is um so Goku leaves. The boys are learning fusion to become Gotenks. So we get Gotenks,
Mhm.
Mr. Satan, um
Being friends with Majin
being
Buu,
friends with Majin Buu and convincing him not to destroy people, only kill people, only for Evil Buu to come out,
and that's
absorbing
when
Fat
we
Buu and
started the new arc there.
becoming Super Buu. Um, so then we have Gotenks trying to fight Super Buu, Extermination Mankind homing attack, Buu um, getting trapped in a hyperbolic time chamber because Gotenks is a fucking idiot and
Mhm.
tricks Piccolo into thinking they're out of options, so Piccolo destroys the door to the time chamber, only
And
for
then Majin Buu literally shrieks so
just
loud that he
screams his
rips
way
a
out,
hole in
screams his
reality.
way out, eats the entire rest of the cast except for Dende. Um,
Well, yeah, because Mr. Popo saved him.
yeah, and then after that we get the fight between Super Saiyan 3 and Gotenks. During this is also when we have Gohan's training in Otherworld, Goku showing up to that, the Z Sword, Old Kai,
I
Potential
will say
Unleashed.
this.
Um,
I I will say this. I find Majin Buu very terrifying because every time I see him, I give like a sheer fear in my spine
See, here's
every
the thing.
time.
That was a point I wanted to bring up. Is I think like forget Imperfect Cell. I think Super Boo is the most terrifying villain in this series.
He's
For
literally taller than Piccolo.
well, not just because of that.
And
Um,
plus, just the way how he is just pure,
yeah,
just darkness in
yeah.
him. Just
Well, and
he
there's like
doesn't give a
how he
fuck. He
keeps getting
just
stronger by
literally
because he
just,
absorbs Gotenks and then Gohan and all that.
and
Uh,
not only that, he killed everyone on Earth. He almost killed everyone.
yeah, without a second. See, but for me, the main thing that caught me off guard the very first time is when they're like they see like Piccolo sees what's going on and they're trying to figure something out because at this point everyone's on the lookout. Like all the Z fighters and their family, they're all on the lookout now because Majin Buu's been going nuts, like destroying the world. And they're like, okay, we need to figure out a way to fight this now. And then he just appears. He just instant transmissions to the lookout. And to me, that is chilling because the lookout has always been this safe haven. Like all the Cell Saga, all this, they've always just been up there formulating plans, figuring things out. It's like it's literally a sanctuary in the sky, and it's just violated. Like without us, like out of nowhere, Super Boo just shows up, and then Piccolo has to try everything he can to stall him out. And then the moment Boo is out of
He
the time
literally
chamber,
just
he
lifts
just
his
eats
hands
everybody.
up and
Yeah,
just kills everyone on Earth
yeah. There's a
just by
Starmination
just
Mankind
holding it
homing
up.
attack. Yeah, that whole scene, just Super Boo is like the coldest fucking villain I think, and the
And he
scariest to
literally
me.
kills Chi Chi by turning her into an egg, stomping on her, and her literal only youngest child watches.
Well, he doesn't watch. They like come out after he's done all this.
I know, but still.
Yeah, but yeah, they had to hear all of that. Yeah, um, yeah. So there's that, and then this also includes Vegito showing like the for the Potara fusion, Vegeta returning to the living world, and Vegito that fight basically up until they separate the
Vegito
good
is
Boo from inside
my
Super Boo, and he turns into Kid Boo is what I'm counting here.
Vegito is my husbando.
I I also would probably rate uh Super Boo or just Boo in general, honestly, um, as probably my favorite villain
See, this is so
from
weird that we were all having the same opinion
Z.
because mostly what you hear is people saying that Boo's the weakest because he's just perfect cell over again. The first form was the better one, but nah, like Super Boo, I think is the best. I think Super. Well, it's hard for me to choose specifically between Super Boo and Kid Boo, because like Kid Boo just for his complete
Like
unfair chaos, but
Fat Boo is a mood. He's a mood.
He's
I
just basically a man
I fully
child.
relate. I fully relate with Fat Boo. Um, Kid Boo and Super Boo. Um, they are just they're on a whole nother level of just fucked up.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and well, the
um,
fun thing about Fat Boo is that he has like this dark nature, but it's belied by his experience or his appearance, I
Well,
should
yeah,
say.
because just to look at him, he's just acts so innocent, childlike, and next thing you know, he just goes full on darkness there.
Yeah, that's like I think there's something to like with each form, and Super Boo like is like kind of becomes obsessed with this idea of being the strongest. Like that's his thing. Cell, it was more of he wanted to be the strongest by completing perfection. Boo just wants
Yes.
to be the strongest by any means necessary. Because Cell didn't necessarily have an out to being stronger. He just got one that he wasn't planning on when he comes back as super perfect Cell or whatever you want to call it. Um,
Mhm.
but like Boo is like determined to be the strongest by any means necessary. So like when he was outmatched, he like tricked the boys into fusing, absorbed them, and then started laying the smack on Gohan after Gohan shows up in a really fucking epic moment and just
Well,
beats the
yeah,
living hell
Super
out of
Boo is
Super Boo.
actually really smart. He's smart.
Yeah, Super Boo is already it's like smarter than Fat Boo, and then he gets even smarter once he
And
uses Zord, Piccolo, and Gotenks, and then
mhm,
Gohan. I don't know.
yeah,
See, I do really like Super Boo as a villain. I would I wouldn't put this on S because I don't like it as much as the previous two parts of this saga. But I would definitely
I
comfortably put it in A. I would probably
oh, okay,
I would put it in A. I would put it high A, but I wouldn't quite put it in S.
okay, all right, that's fine.
Okay, where would you put it, Adam?
I just wanted this because I love Super Boo. It's just the way how he was portrayed, and it's just, oh my god, he's so evil. I love it. And just the way how he is betrayed is just awesome.
I think you find a room for you two. What about you, Chava?
um, I would say high S. Actually no, Z.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd say Z because I mean it's Boo.
Yes,
Boo
it's
is
literally
just
Boo.
I
Boo is
mean,
just
it's
one
Boo,
of
and
the
this is my
best.
favorite saga. But for me, this is the weakest part of the saga for me. I mean,
Okay.
Super. I mean, I have just been gushing about how much I love Super Boo as a villain. So, I mean, I guess I could put it at S. I would put it below the other ones. There's not as much here that I enjoy about it as the other two.
Uh,
Like, there's many standout moments for me personally. I mean, overall, Super Boo as a villain is great, and this arc does turn around Mr. Satan as a character for me as
mhm.
well. So I would put it in S, but I'd hesitate to put it in Z.
Uh,
I would. You know what I would say? All right. You know, I guess we can rate. I kind of disagree, but we can rate it as the top of S rank. But
Yes,
I
thank you,
disagree with putting it
Yeah,
in Z.
thank you.
I'm okay with top of S.
Yes,
I would probably either put it between these two or between the World Tournament and Majin Buu or at the end, but whatever.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're coming up.
Buhan versus Vegito.
Well, that's part of this too. Yeah, that is fun.
Oh,
Yeah, that's part of that. That's part. It's fusion arc. That's part of
okay.
that. Yeah, because now we got Kid
So
Buu.
next one is Kid Buu.
Kid Buu is from the moment Kid Buu appears till the end of the
Just
fight,
you
essentially.
literally know that you're screwed as
Until
soon
he
as Kid Buu
gets
comes out.
fusion or spirit bombed.
Yeah, because that's when he's destroyed.
Yeah, but Kid Buu, my God, he is just oh my gosh, just
I was
he just
actually
literally screams, and then next thing you know, he tries to blow up Earth
no,
just
see,
like
no,
that.
not tries. It's like it succeeds.
He succeeds, but just the way how like Vegeta just mocks him, and then Kid Buu is like, "You done fucked up," and he just literally holds his hand up, makes a super vanishing ball, and destroys Earth.
No, but that's what I love about Kid Buu though, is that he cannot be reasoned with to the degree that Super Buu could. Like Super
Well,
Buu
yeah,
had zero patience,
he's
but he could be
yeah,
reasoned with. But with Kid Buu, because like literally they're like, wait, don't you want to fight us? And Kid Buu's just like, nope, and just pops the
just no,
planet.
he doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to kill things.
Yeah, no, he just wants to cause chaos. That's what he is. He's just the
That's why I
like an
like that's why I
unfettered
like Kid
embodiment
Buu a
of
lot
chaos.
because he's just a definitive of chaos that just doesn't want to be reasoned with. He just wants to kill everything for fun, and he just doesn't care.
No, he just wants to have fun, and he has fun by killing, and that's sort of the impetus of his entire character. So we
Well, yeah,
have
and also the backstory about the Supreme Kai explaining who why Kid Buu is this,
yeah, where we get the explanation like he had absorbed some of the he absorbed the Grand Supreme Kai and the North Kai,
and the South,
and
and then the South Kai becoming Buff Buu.
yeah, because he absorbed South Kai and then Grand Supreme Kai, and he had killed the others except for Shin,
Yeah,
who stayed
Grand
Supreme
Supreme
Kai.
Kai's goodness is mellows out Kid Buu's evilness to
Yeah,
Fat Buu.
over time, which eventually came back in Dragon Ball Super.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah, the
I also like that this is one of the first arcs that like someone in the anime points out Goku's just like terrible parenting
what
because
hmm
like when Kid Buu like destroys Earth and like the like five remaining ones get teleported by the Kai um Vegeta's just like, you just killed our children. You killed our fucking children. I
yeah,
want you to realize that you killed our fucking children.
everyone on the
You fucking
fucking
mongoloid.
guide. They
and all
literally didn't have to like Mr. Satan was like the close. It was Mr. Satan and Dende were the two closest things, and keeping Dende around meant keeping the Dragon Balls around. So
yeah.
it kind of made sense. And like,
Yeah, it
what
makes
were they gonna
sense
do?
because they were able to go back to Namek and just get the Purunga.
Yeah, well, see, and here's another thing with like the problem with the anime is the anime always prolongs things. It's always like, oh, why didn't Goku just instant transmission back to Earth? It's before Cell blew himself up and he'd still be alive. Oh, why didn't Goku just grab all these people? Well, because in the anime things are played out. We have time for people to talk. We have time for things to happen, and we have time for other things to happen, to make things seem longer. But like obviously,
And
it's because like Vegeta criticizes Goku for grabbing like uh Mr. Satan and Dende instead of like their kids, but like it really one it paid off in the end, and two like it was kind of irrelevant because if they couldn't win the fight, they were all gonna be dead anyway,
yeah,
and they were all like I'm trying to remember specifically what had happened at that point because I can't remember. I just but yeah, I don't really consider that bad parenting. It was like he had like make a snap decision in the moment, and that's
hmm
just what happened. It was also a matter of like he was the one that had the bond with Boo, and it really did come in clutch during that fight when we got like good Boo actually coming out to fight
coming in
Kid Boo.
clutch and fighting
Yeah,
Kid Buu, yeah.
yeah, because we do
And
have
of
that.
course,
We
Mr. Satan showboating for a bit and actually helping out, making the Earthlings to help out
with
everyone
Spirit Bomb, yeah.
with the Spirit Bomb.
But
So
we
yeah,
also
it
get
was a W.
but we also get what I think is like the most slept on fight in the series is between Goku and Kid Buu. It's such a phenomenal fight that I
Well, yeah,
think gets
Yeah.
Super
overlooked
Saiyan
a
3.
lot. We get Vegeta's "You are number one" speech.
Yeah,
We have like Goku and Vegeta like deciding by rock paper scissors who's gonna fight Kid Buu because they're like, well, Kid Buu's on his
yeah.
own now, so it's only fair that we fight him one on one, and they want to challenge themselves
And
anyway.
also Super Saiyan 3 Goku's Kamehameha barely doesn't anything to Kid Buu.
Yeah, it's just fair to Goku biting Kid Buu. There's a lot to love in this like kind of final stretch of the story. Uh,
Hmm. And of
Vegeta
course,
trying to buy time for Goku to charge up Super Saiyan 3, which doesn't
I
work.
also love the scene where Vegeta looked like he was down and out. Kid Buu's celebrating, but Vegeta just comes up very angry at Kid Buu, thinking that he killed him.
Hmm.
That's what I loved about Vegeta there. He's just like, "What are you gawking at? You really think that I was gonna go down with much of a fight?"
Yeah, and
How-
yeah,
And
this
he
is
was
so
like,
true.
"Yeah." That's why I love Vegeta in that scene, just yelling Kid Buu for just trying to think he won.
That's great.
So what are we rating it?
I don't know, because then we also have the final Spirit Bomb. It actually
Final
kills the
Spirit
enemy for
Bomb.
the first time in canon because it had never done it
And plus,
before.
it was
Mm.
also really intense that Kibu was able to push back the Spirit Bomb for a bit.
That is
Yeah,
true.
because it wasn't a power, and then they got the final wish of the Drag Balls to fully restore Goku's ki. And then he goes Super Saiyan, just puts everything he's got into it. Oh, such a great moment.
Yeah, but just that scene alone, when Kid Buu was able to push back the Spirit Bomb, actually scared me because how how are you gonna put this guy down? It's just he keeps coming back and pushing back.
It's not that surprising. I mean, both Vegeta and Frieza just have survived a direct hit from a Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, and then of course, and also the Kid Buu trying to like keep Vegeta down because if Goku throws the Spirit Bomb, he'll end up killing both of them.
Hmm.
Until Fat Buu comes in and just stalling Kid Buu enough for Goku to throw the Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's just I mean, it is the ending, so I think it's. I mean, okay, technically, there's the ending is the ending, but I think as the final
Of the
fight, I
peaceful
would say
world,
this
yeah.
should probably go to Z.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the final fight is Z.
Simply because everyone dies.
Yes.
Oh, almost
Almost
everyone
everyone
dies.
except Dende, Mr. Satan, and B
It
the
is
dog.
probably it is probably like the lowest the Z fighters have been in the entire series,
Hmm.
Mhm.
because it really was just like almost we pretty much have lost. Like, what can we do now?
Fight.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and it does turn into like a big old just like fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah, right. Slobber knocker.
And also, I love the moment that Goku calls the Earthlings dumbasses
In the and Kai dub, that is pretty funny. Oh shit!
because
I
that's
did the
what I
thing
wanted
again.
to say the time, just calling the Earthlings in Dragon Ball Z dumbasses.
Seriously, yeah. I'm trying to decide where this should go. I mean, I don't know.
I'd say
I feel like I can't in good
in
conscience again like rate this above though. I'm not sure.
You're not really sure.
No.
I would say in between Cell games and Perfect Cell.
Yeah.
Well, this I group these the same thing because it's like a 5 to 10 chapter difference. So
Hmm.
Mm, I don't know,
uh,
because I think it's better than the Cell games or the Perfect Cell.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really thinking about that. Yeah, it's got a better Vegeta moment. I'm putting it above. Of course, in my
Yeah,
book, it would still be. I don't know. I feel like if I made this again, I keep saying that, but if I made this myself, there'd be things arranged a little differently. Stop scrolling, you
but
idiot.
I
Um,
still, I mean, Vegeta's #1 speech is meaningful because Vegeta actually admits that Goku is #1,
mhm. You are number
and
one.
that actually means a lot.
Yeah, it does. Mm,
So yeah, put it up there.
yeah, and then we have the ending, which is just I think it's just one chapter if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's just one chapter.
yeah, and honestly, the ending it's
You're
not
not too sure.
no, because it's. I mean, I don't think it's a bad ending. I think it's just an ending. It's that I think it's the
It's
most
just
important thing
ending.
is it's not a bad ending.
It's not bad. It's
It's
just that
no, it's not
just
Death Note.
Goku just takes someone off to go train and never comes back.
Well, he comes back in GT.
Yeah, but that's not canon.
It should be. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I guess I'd put it at an A just because it gives us a wrap up. I like seeing where everybody's at. I like Goten having more character and all that.
Yeah,
So
Goten.
I'd put it. I put it the bottom
Yeah.
of A. I mean, it's literally one chapter. Who's gonna fight me on one chapter?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It might be two. I don't remember.
And now, Super.
Are we doing Super or GT?
I think we're
Or
gonna put that off
original
to another
Dragon Ball?
time because it is right at 3 a.m. for me, and I want to go
Uh-huh.
to
Yeah,
bed.
it is tomorrow now.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
it
want to
is
go to
literally
bed.
tomorrow.
I gotta eat Waffle House in the morning, so
Okay.
Oh, you lucky
So,
cunt.
what day you want to pick this up on Super?
I have no idea. I'll figure that out. And I can be able to finish it up like another night. People are available. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, because I think we can
Uh,
go through GT and Super because I have a lot to say about Super in particular.
either Tuesday or Wednesday. I can
Well, we'll
I can
plan that
pick.
out later. We don't need to plan that out
Yeah,
on stream. But so this is
Uh-huh.
the final
people need to
ranking.
know.
The final ranking with everything that we've got is Frieza, the ending of the Frieza saga. Actually, the ending of all three sagas, except Saiyan Saga, is in Z.
Yeah.
Um, everything else from Boo is in S.
Hmm.
We've got almost everything else from Boo. Um,
Yeah.
we got two sections, two Boo and a Saiyan Saga and a Cell Saga in A.
Hmm.
Um, two Cell Saga, one Saiyan Saga, and one Frieza Saga in B. Filler
Hmm.
Saga in C. One part of Frieza Saga in D, and the other Filler Saga in F. F is for
Yes.
filler.
It should stay in F
Mr.
Except
forever.
Fillery.
F is for filler, except Otherworld because I kind of like the Otherworld.
Yeah, Otherworld is decent, but nothing because Garlic Jr. That stuff is shit.
Yeah, so we'll have to go through because I would like to go through GT because I have opinions on GT that aren't very popular, and I have a
Uh-huh.
lot of opinions on Super actually,
I love Super.
especially with the manga because I reread the manga somewhat recently.
Super is the one that I'm most familiar with. Uh, one because it's the most recent, and also
Yeah,
it's
it's
because
recent.
I the one that I actually like kind of rewatched.
Mhm,
Yeah, same here. Especially the Tournament of Power. I had to rewatch it.
Oh yeah,
mhm,
that's like law, right? You have to watch like the last
mhm.
like 3 episodes.
Yes.
I usually just watch the final fight between Jiren and the rest of Team Universe 7.
Um. Uh, Ultra Instinct Goku versus Kefla.
That's pretty good,
Mhm.
but we can talk about that
Especially that
later.
Kamehameha. Does he have to replay that 3 times to show that Kefla got fucked in the ass?
That's
Yeah,
a different
we'll have to.
animation. I don't think that was that one.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. A little less family friendly for that time slot.
Well, it's true though.
Mhm. So yeah, I like the well, we'll get to Super another night. But
Yeah.
so okay, but so final rank like okay, if we had to rank the sagas as a whole, I want to go through and I want everyone's individual opinion. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if we're gonna rank them, one to
Mm-hmm.
like four, 1 to 4, four
Yes.
being your least favorite, one being your most favorite. I'm curious where everyone's numbers are gonna fall. So let's all think about this for a minute, cause I gotta get my numbers straight.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the sagas that we just went over.
Yeah, well, we ranked like the individual arcs,
Hmm.
but I'm saying like if we had to like personal, like not letter grading, I'm saying like we have to put them in a defined order, right? So we
At,
so one
at
one.
the top for me would be
Well,
the
hey,
Boo.
I'm gonna go through one at a time. So what is everyone's numbers for the Saiyan saga? What number is that for you?
Saiyan saga.
Yeah,
Like on a scale of one to
not it's
ten,
not
or
on a scale. If you had to put them in a list, 1 to 4,
1 to 4.
with one being the
Um,
best and 4 being the okay. I don't want to say worst because they're all still good, but like favorite to
three,
least favorite.
3.
Okay, that's also where Saiyan Saga's for me. I have it at 3.
Mm, I say 3 too.
Okay, Frieza Saga. I have it at 4.
Uh, 2.
Let's see. 4 for me.
Okay, Cell Saga. That's
Cool.
at 2 for me.
4.
Um, I would say 2.
Really, I remember Cell Saga used to be your favorite.
Yeah.
Actually, incidentally, it used to be my favorite. Okay, and then Boo Saga is number 1. Yeah.
1. Yeah, 1.
Yeah, 1.
Okay. I am honestly surprised we have a consensus that the Boo Saga is the best. I did not expect that to be the outcome of tonight's discussion.
Mm-hmm.
What can we say? Boost just good.
Yeah, Boo's good.
I think it's Toriyama at his most Toriyama, where it's just
His peak.
every chapter feels like it's kind of off the wall. We get things that come out of nowhere, but for me, it's in a good way, where it's like you don't expect it, you don't see it coming. The villain changes, but each villain has its own thing. Each form of Boo has its own thing I like about it,
Yeah,
and
they have their
we
own
get
personality.
some of the cool. We get wicked new transformations. We get fusion. We have some of my favorite fights in the entire series, and you have also like the resolution of Vegeta's character arc for the
Mm-hmm.
series. You
Yes.
got Gohan at his best, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, good. Boo Saga's
Mm-hmm.
my favorite, and it's why I always get kind of like ticked when people like to piss all over it, like, oh, it's the worst of the series, it's inconsistent,
I don't. I guess
it's
they don't
repeats of
have
other things,
taste.
it's too crazy. Like, nah, man, Boo Saga all the way. There's a
Yeah,
reason
Busaga.
Super Saiyan 3 is my favorite canon Super Saiyan design, Super Saiyan
Yeah,
form.
and also Vegito.
And Vegito, though I prefer Gogeta, but Vegeto's still cool.
Well, yeah, he's cocky
I
against
prefer
Boo.
Vegito.
Yeah, Vegito.
Interesting.
Yeah, Vegito because he is very cocky towards Boo. He just smacking him around, toying with him, and acting like he's just no,
Yeah,
just a
though as
bitch.
an last aside, can we talk about how it makes no sense that people think that Kid Buu is stronger than Buhan?
Well, yeah, that doesn't make any sense because Kid Boo, he's just dangerous. Well, Boo-han, he's literally the strongest villain because he literally absorbed Ultimate Gohan.
Yeah,
Well,
he's just like,
Kid Buu is he couldn't be as strong because he's a split.
Yes.
So
yeah,
he's not even perfect. He's not like super Buu.
Yeah.
He's literally part, like a half of it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way he could have been stronger.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make any sense. And people point to all kinds of stuff. It's like, oh well, they said that when he was transferred back to Kid Buu, his ki was rising. I'm just like, yeah, but that's not his like his strength. They don't say he's getting stronger. He's like ki
He
is like
was
you
just
can
his key.
charge ki. He's just like
Yeah, because
losing a lot
he's
of
just
limiter. Technically, he was losing limiters on what he was capable of because the good could limit what he was, because like he said at one point like Piccolo might be holding it back, um
mm-hmm.
and there was a few times he couldn't attack Mr. Satan. Actually,
Yeah.
in the final battle, even as Kid Buu, he hadn't spit
Mm-hmm.
out Fat
Kid
Buu
Boo.
just yet. It had been
Fat Boo, yeah.
disconnected, but it was still a part of him, and that
Mm-hmm.
stopped even Kid Buu from attacking Mr. Satan, and that was holding him back the entire time because Super Buu had
Yeah.
several occasions where he wouldn't kill Mr. Satan. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's that, but there's also just the fact that Super Saiyan 3 Goku would have been, if it wasn't for Boo's insane regeneration was practically on par with Kid Buu,
Mm-hmm.
whereas he is weaker than Ultimate Gohan, and
Yeah.
Ultimate Gohan was stomping Super Buu.
And then Super Buu literally absorbs Ultimate Gohan.
Yeah, exactly. Like
So
there literally
Super
makes no
Buu
sense.
is stronger.
Like Goku had no chance against
Yeah, because
the
that
only
would
thing
mean
he's the only way out was fusion. Like even
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 3, he was gonna try and fight even Boo Tanks. It wasn't even Boo Han yet. Even at Boo Tanks, he had no hope of fighting him. He wanted Gohan to fuse so they could fight him. That was the only way out.
Yeah.
because that would imply that Super Saiyan 3 is stronger than a fusion of uh of Ultimate Gohan and Super Buu,
Hmm.
Yeah.
which no.
Uh-huh.
No, and even then, and actually even more because they also had um, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it wasn't Gotenks anymore, it
I
was
I
still
Yeah.
a
I
sizable
I, I
boost.
would argue
Boost. There you go.
that when he that Vegito when he fused uh and fought Super Buu after he absorbed Ultimate Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue he's like Super Saiyan God level
Yep.
of
Well,
power.
no.
Yeah.
I
No, I don't think so because Super Saiyan God is like this insanely like the steps. We'll talk about this when we get to Super, but
Mm-hmm.
the power ceiling like entering Super, it just went way the fuck up. I mean, because Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who's arguably like probably because he's been still been training constantly, arguably he's stronger, pretty arguably he's stronger than the end of the fight with Kid Buu. He might even be on par with Ultimate Gohan. That's just speculation, but uh, who knows? But Goku, I mean, they expect Goku to actually be able to do something when he shows up, and if Gohan was capable of that, it's not like enough times passed where he isn't trained enough. Uh, so I don't know. I think there's context there that Goku is the strongest again. Uh, but Super Saiyan 3 is this insane power up. It's 200
Mm-hmm.
times base, if I remember correctly. And, or
Yeah.
maybe it's even 300 times. I don't remember off the top of my head, actually. I think it's 200 times, though, because it's
Yeah.
double the Super Saiyan 2 multiplier, and Super Saiyan 2 is 100 times. And that was nothing to Beerus. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And Vegeta got a rage boost, which is the first of things. I'm not a big fan of how much Super uses rage boosts, but it was the first time, and that pushed even in Super Saiyan 2 pushed Vegeta to be stronger than
Then
Super Saiyan
Goku.
3 Goku. Like he was fighting at a higher level than when
Mm-hmm.
Beerus faced Goku. That's like if pushed Beerus further. But then
Well, yeah.
Super
Beerus
Saiyan God,
even.
but Super Saiyan God is this insane gap in power. The problem is that Beerus, they keep moving Beerus as a goalpost because in the original Battle of Gods, he was saying that he used nearly, we just like, you had to use almost 70% of your power. Well, now we've gotten Super Saiyan Blue, which is a higher multiplier than God. We've got Kaioken times 20 on top of that. And then
Mm-hmm.
we have like Ultra Instinct. We don't know what multipliers are for any of these. They've never been officially released. But
And
but there's
remember that
no way in
scene.
hell doing the math that Beerus is still stronger than Goku and Vegeta. Like not only including their new forms, but how much stronger they get between arcs in
In
Super.
the Champa arc, Beerus did kind of look kind of nervous when Goku was able to go Kaioken in blue.
Which but that
Well, I
it
mean,
makes no sense.
who's to say that Beerus also didn't get stronger?
Well,
Well,
this
yeah.
is possible, but every time
Yeah.
we see Beerus, he's sleeping or eating. Like that, I feel like that's something like we do know that Beerus is peak god of destruction. Like he fought
Hmm.
in a battle royale against all the other gods of
Well,
destruction.
yeah, he literally fought every god of destruction of Universe 1 through 12,
In the
and
manga,
he
yeah.
dodged all their attacks with Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, he has the ability to use Ultra Instinct somewhat, like not quite to the same extent, arguably not to the same extent Goku does. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah,
And then, if I
we don't
remember,
know.
the final showdown with the gods was, what was it? Virus and the God of Destruction Universe 4 Quatella,
Mm-hmm.
and but the Grand Priest just said stop. That's enough.
Yeah, but anyway, the point of this is that the amount of power they gain is with Super Saiyan God alone is vast. Like it's a higher multiplier than anything that they've got by a wide margin. I mean, it's to the point where at the end of Battle of Gods is like so Goku drops out of God form, doesn't realize, just powers up to try and fight and goes Super Saiyan. And when he goes Super Saiyan, so like he retains this is another concept that's really
So
confusing to me.
basically,
He
he
retains
made Super Saiyan God level in base form.
But no, no, no. See, that's the thing, though. He doesn't get Super Saiyan God level in base form because if that were the case, then he'd be way stronger. Because you figure that the strength he had as a god, he now has in base. Ending through Super Saiyan on top of that for 50 times, it's insane. No, because the way I've always read it is that his body formatted itself to the power, but he still didn't have all that. Like I see that as like his base power is a 50th of Super Saiyan God, and then he went
Mhm.
Super Saiyan
Mhm.
and got like kind of like the God level power back, or maybe he got stronger. I don't know because to me that doesn't make any sense that he would have how crazy stronger Goku got, where like Beerus actually took notice of his power, and then throws another
Mhm.
50 times on top of that,
Yep.
and is still the fight was still like more or less going the same way as it was prior.
And also the fact that they literally destroyed almost the whole universe 7 by clashing.
I hate that. I hate that in the anime. Okay, we're getting into topics that are beyond. We should hold off on any of this till we get to Super.
All right, all right,
But
all
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. We'll get
Okay.
to that later. I'll just leave it at that. That I fucking hate that
And
as a
also,
concept.
so yeah,
Hmm.
Z
But yeah,
was a great series. I loved it.
yeah. But I also okay. Also, just kind of like we kind of went really far on a tangent. But I also think
Yeah,
like
we
by and
really went out.
large, I think by and large, Vegeta wouldn't be able to do anything because if it was, I think things were
Mhm.
dire enough that they would have fused again if that was an option.
Yep.
Like I think just like purely based on that alone, where it's like instead of trying to fight again or just
Mhm.
fuse, they like tried to figure out this whole god prophecy. Because
Yep.
just like they know how strong they knew how strong they were as Vegito because they
Mhm.
talk about it. Like when they fuse, they become one being. When you defuse, it's like a shared experience. You both have like the exact same knowledge of what took place. So
Mhm.
they knew how strong they were as Vegito. They know how strong they
Mhm.
are now. So like if it was a
Mhm.
question of that, they could borrow some Potara and fight Beerus. But I think that's just the thing. The gulf between like just Super Saiyan 3 even and God is so great it didn't make a difference. Even
Yep.
though we know fusion gives you a multiplier now, or like we knew it did before, but it's just been confirmed that both Metamore and Fusion Dance and Patara both have a multiplier. We just have no clue what the fuck it is because every time a fusion character shows up, even in non-canon media, they're always so much more over. They're so overpowered to such an
Well, it
insane
is canon
extent.
now because of Broly.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's how we know that there's a multiplier because it was stated in
But
the
I'll
Broly film.
say Broly is really strong.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna deny that. Okay, we need to wrap this up. Or I'm gonna keep going and going and going. We're already at almost 2.5 hours, which is pretty good for a stream back. And
Yeah.
oh, actually, do you guys want to know when the last time we did a podcast was?
When was it?
3 years ago.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The last podcast we did, as I
Was
check,
back in.
the last podcast was yeah, it was Toy Story 4, 3 years
Oh my
ago.
gosh.
Um, actually,
But
it'll
now our
be
opinion.
4 years ago this year. It was July 27th, 2019.
But still, Toy Story 4 is a shit fest.
Well, if anyone anyone in the audience now or in the future wants to know our opinions on Toy Story 4, you can check that out on my
Yes.
channel where this VOD will go up as well. Um, but yeah, the last time I streamed was actually a year ago. Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
here it is. Yeah, yeah, it was a year ago. It was yeah, No, it was actually, here it goes, January 21st, 20, January 21st. Oh my god, it has literally been a year to the day last time I streamed. Like when we started. Okay, technically it was a little later because midnight for
Oh,
me,
how
but
convenient! It came full circle.
mhm. And this is actually okay. This is actually probably a day later because I don't always upload these like right after we're done with them or after I'm done streaming. So
Mhm.
who knows? But yeah, that's insane that it's almost exactly a year. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I'd like to stream more. We'll see. We can keep these podcasts going to be fun, or maybe just me labbing in Halo sometimes. Except
Yeah, we can try do that, but
I get very pissed off when I'm playing Halo. That's not going the way I want to. So I don't know.
And I go on ramblings when we talk about Halo.
Yeah, you do.
okay. Well,
Fuck around and
for the
forge.
next one, for
I
the
don't know.
next
We'll we'll
podcast,
we'll we'll figure out the next. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Maybe next week or some point. We will figure that
yeah,
out off stream. That's not a big deal. But
do
before
you
we
want?
go off on any more tangents, I'll just wrap things up. So
Yeah, let's just
it's
do that.
great that
Right.
we had a good long discussion, 2.5 hours just about, and went
Yeah, it's
through
pretty
and
good.
made some. I'm sure the internet's going to consider very, very terrible opinions public
Yes,
for us them to see. So,
because they
um,
have no taste.
yeah, hopefully none of us get doxxed, and we'll be good. Who am I kidding? We're pissing off Dragon Ball fans, not K-pop fans. They're not going to dox us and kill us.
Yeah, they're not people.
They're not
I
people
was
at
gonna
all.
say that. Okay, don't fucking piss off the K-pop people, Chava. I want to live.
I
No, I
want
meant
to
the
live.
Dragon Ball
They've
fans.
killed for worse or for
Oh
less.
my god.
Their idols are in the military right now. Who cares?
Oh, like the
Oh
one
boy.
big one. Oh god, that was so funny. I was in Japan and I just found that out. I was laughing my ass off.
Hmm.
K-pop very, very big in Japan too, by the way.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean, it's fake everywhere.
we stop. I stop talking. Ending. We silence. That's the end. Thank you
Oh,
everybody so much for joining us. It has been great to come back. Hopefully we can keep these going. It's always fun
please,
to sit down and have these
please, can we
conversations
do more of
forever.
these Dragon
But it is
discussions
after
because
3 a.m. I want to
it's fun.
sleep. I've got Waffle House to eat tomorrow, today,
Uh-huh.
whatever. So, again, thank you everybody so much for joining us. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whatever the heck it is, wherever the heck you are, and take care.
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
Oh, see ya.